Um, Sorry, I had my mic on mute. I think I missed the Made with Unity sign. I have a really weird relationship with that one. So, I think there was a while in terms of gaming when there would be a default Unity launcher and it would be a like there'd be a separate window where you do all of the quality options at the beginning. And I noticed, like, I really don't watch that much of gaming YouTube, but it tended to be, I would watch some reviews. Usually people would, like, share some indie stuff with me. And almost always it would either be in that video or it would lead to another one when someone says, like, oh, it's a Unity sign, that must mean the game's bad. And that still sort of exists now because if you use the sort of the, I guess they call it the free version or personal version of Unity, there's the Made with Unity logo that comes up right at the front. And basically, one of the things that you can get with the higher tiers is the ability to remove that splash screen. It's actually kind of a curious marketing choice because, if you take a look at game forums now, there's always this, oh, why are you using Unity? That's bad. When, this game's great. Endless Space, Endless Legend, Rust. I don't actually really like Rust, but people do. Subnautica. What was another really good example? Cuphead, obviously. I'm just trying to think of like really good sort of 3D. Oh yeah, Layers of Fear was a really good looking game. Anyways, there's lots of great like the number of examples that you can think of that make nonsense of this claim that Unity stuff is bad. They're fast and furious, but the thing that's so interesting about and of course the other thing to keep in mind, like some of the more successful games like Hearthstone and Legends of Runeterra, these are also Unity projects, and obviously these are large developers that are used to making their own engines, opting for this tool. So all of this is to say, one really weird branding thing is that the people who, let's face it, like not all games are made equally, but the funny thing is that the people who either don't have the resources or don't want to spend for a higher tier are forced to show it, which means that there will be sort of at the bottom end of the distribution, you're guaranteed to brand your engine that way. And I don't know what the licensing terms of Unreal are, but if you think about all the Unreal games you've played, the big Unreal logo on these, really impressive projects. There's plenty of very bad Unreal games, by the way, and there's also lots of really bad games where people made their own engines. But fortunately for us, the majority seem to be really good games, and really good games made without the engines. In any case, reason I mention it is one of the things that absolutely charmed me about this game at the start was the Made with Unity logo. There's just something about seeing that where it's like, hey, there are people who made this, and in principle, it's exciting that we have access to the tools that have made these really enjoyable games. And yet I know there is no possible way I'm ever going to make something as good as this. And I'm quite content to play them and share them with you. So this is Fort Triumph by Cookie Byte Studios. It was a Kickstarted game, and they reached out and said, would you be interested in covering this? And I'm still behind on some of the stuff I want to cover. Like I want to do some more Six Ages, but this definitely seemed interesting, and I was very charmed by it. So again, this key was given for promotional purposes, but it's a really neat game, and I enjoyed playing it so much the last time that I wanted to put in at least another day soon. I'll no doubt do more of the game as time goes by, but I wanted to make sure that I locked in a couple of good streams on it. So the other thing that I wanted to say about this one, I'm partly just filibustering at the start to give people a chance to come in. One of the things I'm going to do differently, or not differently, but one of the things I'm going to do is rather than continue in Act 2, I'm actually going to start the campaign over again now that I know a few things. I know the developers are looking for feedback, and it looks like they've gotten some in the form of YouTube as well as some very good reviews on Steam. Very positive reviews, I mean. I have no comment on the quality of reviews because I don't know really what makes a good review or a bad review. Well, I think I have an idea about some things that are some bad reviews. But I tried to put up my thoughts from playing it last time into an email. But one of the things that I was really conscious of in writing that email, and I hope I was clear in terms of what I wrote, is that these are the first impressions feelings. And, some things that I talked about at the end of last stream, like sort of feeling a bit disembodied when these heroes that I've grown very attached to from the introduction, die very unceremoniously. Now that I have these expectations, I am a little interested in kind of going back and seeing how much of that sticks. Because I know I got a little frustrated by some things that I felt I didn't quite understand very well from the tutorials. So it's an opportunity for me to kind of double back and see how this stuff works. So before I load up, I figure I've done enough to let people move in. I'm going to make sure everything's tagged up properly. And we will be on our way to enjoying another round of Fort Triumph. Also, this conveniently gives me a chance to get the Steam link. So for those of you who want to pick it up, it's here at, you can see it inside a chat. It is currently, in Canadian dollars, $22.79. It is available for Windows, Mac OS, and Steam. Now, I don't know if Steam OS just means that you have Linux support overall, or you specifically need the Steam OS, but I'm sure those of you who use it will be able to know. Generally, Linux users know what works on their computers and don't. I will mention that the note in the FAQ said we will maintain the early access price all the way to full release, at which point the full product will likely be priced higher. So if you want to help a game develop, or if you want to get it at a deal, now is not a bad time to pick up on that. Or if nothing else, you can wishlist it. But let's go in. So far as I can tell, it may not be. It's not immediately clear to me as to whether or not these get unlocked through later play, or if this is something that will be implemented later on in the game. Then we've got grasslands, caverns, and crypt. Again, I've got the. I only have the grasslands option, and again, I'm not sure if these will be implemented later, or if these are something that I unlock through play. I will say I'm going to play on normal difficulty. I actually kind of like learning by the AI clobbering me in games like this, but I have noticed that the AI is no joke on a few of these missions. So I'm just going to do the default difficulty. I'm going to get a firmer grasp on how the game works, and then perhaps we can consider moving up to Classic and Legendary. I'm pretty sure this is how XCOM does it too. Like, they don't call it hard, they call it Classic, to salve the ego of someone like me who wants to pretend he's good at these games, but really just gets frustrated for no reason. The Paladin's Blinding Light ability is very effective at disabling enemy overwatch. Oh, that's good to know. All right. It was nightfall, and the Smoldering Soup Inn was bustling with activity. The recent economic troubles had folks concerned, which in turn demanded spending coin to take their mind off such things. A hooded character quietly approaches the tavern's entrance, where a large troll loiters menacingly. "Greetings. May I have entrance to this establishment?" Bouncer eyes the stranger up and down. "No, can't let dubious persons in. You want to go through the back. That's for persons of dishonest repute or general unscrupulousness." The hooded stranger tips his hood and skulks away into the darkness. "Thanks." "And you want to skulk with your knees, so you don't hurt your back." The dark figure nods gratefully at the thoughtful comment and skulks away with his knees. Meanwhile, inside the Smoldering Soup Inn. "And since the Justice Factory shut down, I cannot find worthy employment." This is Solaris Ironflaw speaking. Ivan Dogbane. "And Leandra just lost her scholarship. I'm telling you, there ain't no justice." "Well, there remains some in the stockpiles, but that shan't last long." Leandra stares forlornly at the wall and sighs. Leandra Page Turner. "It's a frickin' noble's fault, you know. Always plotting and playing with our hard-earned or stolen coin. But 'tis their divine right to do such, as Scripture commands. Chapter 7 of Ye Far Too Olden Ways. The Ladieth of the Lake, her arm clad in..." Leandra stirs from her daydream. "Hey, What if we formed our own party? Eh? Why is this coming up now? We need the coin, and we're a capable group. We could hire ourselves out directly and pick the contracts we like. Won't have to take crap from no one. I like it. Yes, we could halt evildoers ere they enact their villainous plots. Suspicious hooded character stumbles and bumps into Solaris. Oops. Apologies. Not to worry, sir. Now where were we? Ah yes, we shall require a coat of arms and surely a battle standard. Solaris' voice drowns out as the mysterious stranger makes his way to the other side of the inn, to a quiet corner table where a fearsome goblin warchief awaits. The warchief nods as the figure approaches and takes a seat. The hooded character pulls out a heavy parcel and slides it over. Are we settled? Garbarak inspects the contents and rattles it some, and nods. The pact is made! The hooded character begins to laugh maniacally. Shh! Garbarak gestures to a sign above the bar. No evil cackling past midnight. So again, most of the laughs I kind of got out in the first one, but I am actually incredibly charmed by that introductory. You can create a new party in your town if there's no other party occupying it. One thing that I need to be a little conscious of in the post-mortem I gave last time was it's possible that I missed out on some of the like lessons of the game by not reading those early tooltips, but. Alright, move the paladin with the right mouse button. All actions cost action points. The AP indicator near the cursor indicates the action's cost. So we'll run you up. To attack enemies, target them and press the right mouse button. Hammer strike costs 2 AP and requires you to stand next to the target. Oh. Lift costs 1 action point and doesn't end a user's turn. It could lead to powerful combinations. Your chances to hit enemies behind cover are low. Flank the peasant and then attack him with your bow. The action breakdown bar at the top of the screen will tell you if your enemy has cover. Ah, actually. Okay, I get it. So it's the breakdown here. So this is one of the things that I was a little curious about for the game, which is if there's a better way to find out what the like what the cover would be. So for instance, one of the challenges that I run into here, I would make a pretty good guess just by looking at things that he counts as behind cover here. And you know, in this particular setup, it's probably not too confusing to see where the cover is, but you'll notice that there isn't actually really any kind of visual indicating whether or not it counts as cover. So you know, this probably is not in cover. This might be because it's, to my mind, I've got a straight line here. But again, the only information that I get is my current position, and if I'm going to be using up a turn to move, I might be fumbling around looking for a spot when that could be communicated differently. So as you can see here, my chance to hit is higher. There's no adjustment in terms of cover. I think the way XCOM handles this is in addition to the fact that it'll show you whether or not you can target the character. I think the icon changes a different color. It's been a while since I played XCOM 2. But I always wondered if maybe they could do something like change the outline, because as you can see, like I can see this guy, he gets an orange outline, and maybe it goes red or something like that. But then of course you need to communicate to people what the colors mean. So this is one of the things that I've learned about feedback, is that I can talk about feelings. I can say, I kind of felt like I didn't know what to do in this. Trolls can provide cover for other units standing near them. But I'm not a game designer, and so it's probably not a bad idea for me to shut up about prescriptions. I'm pretty sure game designers have a lot more experience of thinking about how to solve these particular problems, and it's a lot more helpful for me to communicate what's going on in my head, because no amount of telemetry is going to tell you that. Pressing end turn will automatically put all ranged heroes on Overwatch if they have enough action points. Ranged heroes can use Overwatch, which allows them to attack the first enemy that moves in line of sight. Use this ability to slay the skeleton. When choosing an offensive ability, hit chances will appear on enemy cards in sight. Well, that's interesting. Okay, that I didn't realize at the time, so I wonder if that will help me with some of my some of the details I ran into. Pushing and pulling lead to physical interactions that cause damage and other effects. Try to kick the spiderling into the rock. Press the left mouse button to select the ability, and then right mouse button on the target. So we will run this guy ahead here. Now, this really, to me, so Fantasy XCOM is a great idea on its own. And like I said, the game has a really charming story and just a really nice art style. And again, one thing that I think is really important, I wish more games had the courage to be funny. And I understand, like, nobody wants to try to be funny and it not work. But I definitely feel it's an underserved market. I also think kid stuff is probably underdone because, like, I think very few people like set out to do an independent company and then say, I really want to do something for children. But it's like books, right? A huge audience to, spend money on good quality entertainment like that would be children. As much as I like science fiction, I also sort of know that science fiction movies and science fiction video games are my competition, whereas pretty much every parent wants kids to read. So, but I would have been happy enough with Fantasy XCOM because I like games like that. But one thing that I think really makes this game sing is sort of these combinations and the environmental effects. Now, it's a double-edged sword because there's some wildness to the combos which I haven't quite gotten a handle on. But this gives you a nice little example about how it works. So kick the spiderling, press left mouse button to select the ability, then right mouse button on the target. So whop them. Stunned enemies lose 2 AP, making them unable to attack. Continue to damage the spiderlings with kick in order to kill them. So one of the things that... Actually, I'm very interested by that statement there because obviously this is assuming 3 action points and attacks that take 2. I am slightly curious, though, as to whether or not... like, if at any point your action points go up, if you wind up stunned, whether or not you're going to be able to do an attack. That would be interesting. Also, it invites the question as to whether or not these opponents get more than 3 action points. Anyways, we're gonna Sparta this tree. Towns of different factions have different buildings which supply various benefits. Toppling tall objects can also stun enemies and deal more damage than regular physics hits. Use Whirlwind to topple the tree on the Goblin Scout's head. We can select enemies with left mouse button to see how far they could reach an attack on their turn. So I had some issue with this because it seems like... So I'm curious how this works with ranged. So does this mean that this ranged unit can like move out here and still be able to attack me? I definitely feel like I relied on this at a point in the past and they did get a successful attack on me. But so it's possible that this is referring only to melee attacks. But of course there's a ranged unit on the ground, so you can sort of understand why you might believe that there's a different, you might understand why you would take that as the movement as well as the range. All right, keep using Whirlwind, utilizing the environment in order to kill the Goblin Scout. Remember that stunned units cannot attack. All right, so one thing I'm a little curious about. So this is a great example of... by the way, I'm sorry, if it sounds like I'm just crapping all over the game at the start. This is a little mental recap for myself in terms of just figuring out where, where things might have gone wrong for me in the previous one. So a good example here would be, it's like, okay, what do I want this tree to do? I want to knock it over here. But, what does it take to go diagonal? In this case, you can probably make a reasonable argument saying is like, yeah, this probably should be moving back. This should probably be moving diagonal. But if you don't know where it's going to be moving based on your movement, again, you wind up in the same situation as your archer, where it's like, in this one's like, oh, this moves directly left. Okay, I guess that sort of makes sense. And obviously you don't want to spend a whole bunch of turns moving around, finding out what the consequences of your physical actions are going to be. So this is, again, like I said, this is not so much about, yo, devs, fix. This is actually going to be setting up what I'm hoping to sort of learn from doing Act 1 again. So in this case here, one of the biggest struggles I have is figuring out what the consequences of certain combos that I'm setting up are going to be. And so I'm going to be paying a little bit more attention to some of the signals that the game gives me in terms of what the effects will be. Now these tutorial missions are fairly straightforward. There's the spider one sort of shows you how you can set up a combo that has multiple effects, but most of these ones here are just going to be single targets, and so it's usually the AI doing effective combos on me that's taught me how to do these things. And I'm actually not that bothered by that sort of stuff, because in the end, like, trolls can provide, we've read that one. For me, whether I'm playing XCOM or other strategy games, like, I don't want to be completely obliterated every single time, but a lot of you who watch me know that I don't actually think that games are only enjoyable when you're winning. And sometimes being able to learn from from mistakes, or being able to learn from the AI doing some really devastating stuff to you can be entertaining in its own right. So units can also get stunned by hitting other units. Use a grapple hook to pull one of the Goblin Raiders into the other and stun both. So this is an example of a move I try to do quite a bit, but diagonals seem really hard to do. And I mean, diagonals are usually tough on square grids anyway. This is why a lot of strategy games that you see use hexes. It's also movement, because the question is like, well, do you penalize diagonal movements by half? Because technically you can cross the board a lot faster. There's a whole bunch of very interesting papers you can read on that sort of stuff. But hex have these really nice, desirable properties about covering space really well. But I just like hexes. So in this case, this is more or less set up to do this combo. And this is one I like a lot, because what it effectively does is you have a ranged unit who's usually pretty vulnerable. But what it does is it takes out... So, I mean, the most standard combo you're going to see in a strategy game, right, is, ranged units are very good because they don't have to engage the enemy, but the cost is that they're very fragile when a melee unit gets into reach. And so this is a slightly counterintuitive move where I'm taking melee units and moving them in closer, but instead of trying to do a form of damage mitigation by taking out one target, I actually take out two by bumping them into each other. Okay, we've done that. 3 months later. All right, let's review. I think we can improve on some areas, but we're coming together. I thought, for instance, that your speech during the raid was inspiring. Do you believe any heard me over the sound of the bandit screaming? Well, timing is something I want to touch on. Also, Avon, don't rob the mayor's mansion next time. But he's got the nicest stuff. Yes, but that was our client, and contracts aren't easy to come by. But as word of our great deed spreads, the offers will flow. I ain't doing any more work for exposure. Sorry, I ain't doing any more of that work for exposure, Naff. Agreed, it's degrading, and I have tuition to pay. Next job, then? You can check the job board. Some picking and all, but it's worth a shake. The three heroes crowd around the job board, the cheap wood peppered with entreaties to kill this many rats or harvest that many herbs. Why, look, a posting by Lady Oraline herself. I hear her estate's so big her bloody footmen need butlers. Of course, then those butlers need footmen to order around. Wonder if they get butlers. Leandra's mouth waters. Oh, this contract demands 4 heroes, and we are but 3. Figures. Wait, look at this one. Adventurous Seeking Party. This could be our 4th, so that we could take on another quest. Hard worker, hard puncher, flexible on morality, resume attached. The meeting place is just over the hill. Let us find this 4th, join forces, and venture together on Lady Orlean's lucrative assignment. All right, open your town by pressing the left mouse button on it. So I think this is where the tutorial finished. Well, that's not entirely true because it's telling me to do things like purchase a party size upgrade and whatnot. I understand one of the inspirations for this game was Heroes of Might and Magic. Now, I have played Heroes of Might and Magic, but I've not played it a lot, and so it's not fresh in my memory, and I have a feeling that a lot of the mistakes I made on the strategic layer would have been probably would have been avoided if I was more familiar with it. Again, it's not mind-blowing. It's not like I sat down and was like, oh my god, there's enemy units. But you know, sometimes I stumble. So this is your town. Here you can construct or purchase buildings, heroes, and upgrades. Select the guild and purchase the party size upgrade. So the guild was... Oh, right here. Leave the town in search of a fourth party member. You may return to town at any time to construct buildings and purchase upgrades by left-clicking the town icon. So I think I'm actually going to do that now. So I need a citadel to upgrade the university, which will help me with XP. Town hall will give me more income. And we don't have enough... Okay. I'm going to go for some early economy. This is your world map. You may explore and interact with any monsters, events, and locations. The enemy faction will also... Okay, you know what? I just didn't read this properly. So it was explained to me that there was an enemy faction, and I think I just sort of lost the... I lost the plot here, clearly. The game did tell me. Congratulations, you finished the tutorial. You are now free to roam the world as you see fit. Your current objective is to meet the fourth hero, and you should do so now to increase your roster of heroes. Good luck. Alright. So I can also pick up stuff on the way, but let's just go straight to the corrupt magic. You approach a source of magic, but it doesn't swirl, sparkle, or even gleam as it normally should. Standing near it, you feel your offensive powers diminish, but the potency of your kicks and hooks is increased. You suspect that going closer may allow you to absorb some of this effect until the end of the week, as well as gain a bit of magic. I do kind of need some better strength, but I do also need to improve my combos, so let's take the risk. And this is a 3-skull difficulty mission. The meeting place with the hero from the poster lies deserted, but as you move closer, you spot a group of goblins in the distance. Approach them. This is a story mission. Your highest level heroes of each class are summoned to it, with preference to heroes in the interacting party. During combat, hold the right mouse button on enemy cards to see their stats and abilities. Something ain't right. There are gobbers all over the place. I spot a trapped maiden in distress, lying in a cage just yonder. A woman clad in furs stands in a cage, calling for her goblin jailer. Oh no! Gitgrun! Look! Fine golden cage! Come closer and we share Gitgrun! A most muscular maiden. Goblin raiding parties don't dare come this close to a human settlement. Keep your eyes peeled. Alright. Let's see what we're working with. So, kick takes 2, so that's a pity. Some of the things I try to think about is like, okay, so if I go up to this rock and I kick it, what happens? Well, nothing. I'm a little curious. Okay, so if I do a far away lift, so that looks like that's 2. It's 2 ahead. Okay, well this is a very courageous move, but I'm going to try and get really creative here. Oh, that's a shame. So I'm assuming that when it says no sight, they're talking about. I'm assuming they're talking about like line of sight between these two. So if I had knocked over this pillar first, that would have been okay. Anyways, I have some ways of sorting this out. So like what I was thinking of doing was trying to get the archer like right here so that the pillar would knock him down. But I have a way of taking advantage of this too, so. Oh, maybe I don't. You're kidding me. See that? So this is an example of what I'm talking about. This is now a much harder shot than I thought it was going to be. Okay, so now I'm actually in trouble. I've got my guys out of position. So I'll minimize the damage by knocking over the tree. Alright, game was merciful. Oh, I blew it. Oh, he's gonna make us chase him. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna assume he still counts as being behind cover here. Yeah, still did the trick. Alright, that was not the smartest move I could have made. I just exposed my my paladin. We'll set up Overwatch. Because obviously not going to be able to take him out, but... Drat. Okay, so we'll move Leandra up just to polish this guy off. And then we'll rush the rogue up. I'm wondering... No, I don't really have an Overwatch option, I don't think, so... this is interesting, so I can try moving back. I have a feeling, though, that the archers will just move up and fire off an arrow. Okay, so I got to do something about the Overwatch here, but I believe Leandra has the option, or the answer to that. Okay, no line of sight from this position. Wow, that's a really good Overwatch. So somebody's going to have to take the arrow. Otherwise I can't move her. Well, that or I just rely on... I just rely on my people being able to get the job done. Actually, the other thing I should consider... So I need one... Looks like I just need 3 hexes. So that's an interesting question as to if I just keep her out in the open. We go 1, 2, 3. Okay. This is risky, but let's see how it goes. Excellent. Ooh. Alright, that really puts me in a tight spot. So let's just accept that Solaris is gonna get a shot. That was a tough shot. So that's covered one. Now the question is whether or not I'm going to be able to get my archer to do anything about this. Let's do something a little counterintuitive and pull the tree toward the archer. Yeah. Okay. So that was a passable fix. This is just an easy flank, so... Oh, wow, that still counts as cover, huh? So this is a great example of... Yikes. Okay, so there's a few problems here. One, I'm going to have to decide between protecting my mage or taking out the archer. I wouldn't normally do this, but I am going to take out the goblin here. So problem now is that the archer has a shot on my paladin. Looks like he's not taking it though, opting for the... Oh, he's going... it's not the move I would have done, but then I suck at this game, so... okay, I don't quite have enough to... Alright, so somebody's eating the Overwatch unless I try for some Hail Mary. Oh. Sometimes it works. So here I'll try and get the group in a proper... I'll get them in a proper lineup before I activate the next event. So I think there's a penalty that I get. Hey, the exception, how you doing? I think there's a penalty I get for taking too many turns, but in this case, being able to get the extra turn to sort of refresh my cooldown seems a decent enough trade-off. Finally, other heroes. A barbarian? What brings you here so far away from your home in the frozen northern tundras? Mostly pneumonia. Ah. Solaris pauses a moment at the conversational dead end. And who is the skeleton companions of yours in the other cage? This is Steve. He starved to death, but now come back for tantalizing conversation. The nether spews forth! The end is nigh! Yes, you say that already, Steve. You're not a good conversationalist. Secret is more listen. That's not possible. Unliving don't just spontaneously rise from the dead. Krita shrugs. So, it's not easy to admit, but lock tough. Goblins somehow resist trick talk. You help? Hold still, my lady. We shall retrieve the key from the jailer. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm completely flanked. Alright, so one thing that I've learned from the last time that I played this is if you complete the objective, you don't need... So, in XCOM, if you take out all the enemies, you win. Gods, more of you bloody arrows. That burly one tore me the head off my best tracker, killed 2 more of my raiding party, and keeps trying to trick me to let her out. Come close to cage, get run, have juicy secrets for share. I thought you humans were bright, soft, and delicious in stew. I don't know what brought you and your raiding party here, but you'll leave at once and release your prisoner. I'm not doing that. She's terrifying, a menace, and worth a rate in gold. The Demon King pays top coin for innocent maiden sacrifices. Krita raises an eyebrow as she incredulously mouths the word innocent. Demon King soon unhappy client. Then you leave us no choice. Prepare for battle. I'm doing very well, the exception. I can't remember. Were you here when we played this last? I feel like you were, but I don't... apparently, I just don't have memory anymore. I was rambling on about XCOM-ish stuff, too. So one of the things about XCOM is that they make you clear out the level each time that you each time that you you go through. This one, you actually just need to achieve the objective, and then it lets you out. So one thing I'm mildly concerned about is the possibility that they start knocking over trees on me. But I mean, if you're gonna have somebody in the front line, it's got to be the paladin, right? So we'll set up a brace, and next round will be when we start doing something more exciting. Okay, so it looks like they're staying in defensive position. That's fine, because first thing I can do is knock over a tree, or fail to do so. See, now this is the problem here. I'm actually just going to set everybody... This is one of the challenges, right, is that you don't want to make obviously disadvantageous choices. And one thing I'd kind of like to try and do is just kick this rock over on the captain. The one challenge if I do that, of course, is that they don't immediately get stunned. I actually need some kind of a follow-up. Actually, I think I know what that's going to be. So this is a risky one, but... So next up is going to be... Alright, that's definitely a very optimistic shot. Ooh! I think I just killed my... paladin doing that. So this is going to be a rather dramatic choice. But that's how I'm saving him. And I guess I can set myself up behind my tree stump again. I mean, he still might get hit, but... Ooh, no, it looks like I lose my drat. I really wanted to keep my first party together. So here's what we're gonna do. Oh wow. I'm curious if this is like the very first mission that's starting. I don't think it was here. What's this game all about? Sorry, oh, yes, okay, so we can reset the... This is good, because if I feel really sad about losing warriors, then I don't need to worry. So Fort Triumph is... mechanically, it's XCOM by way of Heroes of Might and Magic. In terms of what it's about, it's a group... there's a economic hardship in the realm, and this is sort of the the adventuring party going indie. They form their own group. They're going out to get some contracts, and right now I'm just doing I'm finding the fourth member, but I'm sort of screwing up doing so. So, but the thing that really makes this unique, I've read this stuff before, so. The thing that makes it really unique is some of these environmental effects that you're seeing. So, let's see. Let's see if there's anything interesting I can do. So one possibility I can see is if I kick the rock forward and possibly knock the goblin back. All right. This is practice time. Cool. But I stunned myself doing that. Okay, so I looks like I actually took damage doing that. Yeah, Unknown Migrate. I decided I wanted to try and take the knowledge that I had from the last playthrough and see if I would do anything a bit differently. As you can see, there's a couple of effects where I was maybe surprised. So, for instance, I didn't think that knocking the goblin into me, I thought that gave me an attack of opportunity. I didn't think that stunned me. So I obviously don't quite understand that mechanic as well as I had thought. But again, it's all learning stuff, right? So, but yeah, the plan is to go through Act 1 and hopefully we get a little Act 2 done tonight. But it's a fun game, so I don't mind taking my time with it. Okay, so obviously the AI is rather clever to avoid the setup. So I think probably the way the pattern works is that I need like one character to sort of set up the combo, and then I need another character to it's the rest of the characters who actually deliver. So both of my cool abilities are on cooldown, which means I'm gonna have to suffer the effects of, well, I mean, technically I don't have to because I don't actually have any good options right now. The only thing is I don't really like my paladin being on the flanks like this. So we'll set up for Overwatch. So this is one of the challenges that I run into, right? There's clearly stuff that I want to do, but this Overwatch has sort of got me pinned down, and so I find it more optimal to sit and wait for my cooldowns to come back. In that case, I paid for it, of course. So, I'm pretty sure there's an attack. Oh, maybe there isn't an attack of opportunity on him. So, I mean, one thing I could try here would be knocking them into each other. What are you doing? I wanted to hit the guy from behind. That's fine though. That did what I wanted it to. And I should have a tree to be able to knock down, so we'll move her up. What I need to do is damn it. I should have paid attention. I wanted to neutralize the archer. Yeah, it's the worlds are procedurally generated, and I think the tactical map is, but I'm not 100% certain. Okay, now this I'm a little curious about. I wonder if I boot this guy, whether or not he drowns. No, that's the easy answer to that. So now I'm actually in a little bit of trouble because I don't have any good moves against this archer. So we'll close him in with Overwatch. Of course, the problem with this one is it just takes the stunned guy to break this Overwatch. Alright, well, that's what I got. So 2 AP doesn't let me do my... I guess it does let me lift him out of cover, though. It's not a very elegant way of dealing with with cover, but there's something rather amusing about seeing a paladin just run in, pick up a goblin, and deposit him for the flank. Sorry to skip over this stuff. I actually really like the dialogue in the game, but... Incidentally, if so it sounds like we've got a couple who are unfamiliar. If you want, please do let me... please do ask if you have any questions about the game. All right, so had I not moved had I not moved Solaris that way, I would have actually moved him up to kick the goblin into the tree and knocked it over onto the boss man, but I wasn't thinking, so. Telekinesis seems like the sort of thing I should be looking for a little bit more often, but this gives healing, and given that there's permadeath, I actually want more healing options for my party, so. Interesting. So again, I have an Overwatch problem, but there's also a healing potion. So, I'm not crazy about risking the mage here, but... Ooh, yeah, that was a... I hope I don't have to reset on this. Jesus Christ. Alright, I'm gonna try and minimize as much of the fallout. I gotta get a new... Alright, taunts an enemy, preventing it from attacking any unit except the paladin. Rally rallies nearby allies, increasing their offense and speed by 2, or the paladin heals himself surrounding enemies when he kills an enemy. And it's a range of 6 tiles. So I think I'm gonna do Healing Aura. And... in the best of all worlds, I'm able to pull this tree onto someone. I don't... yeah, the numbers don't work on that, though. So I'll set up an Overwatch and just hope that I don't suffer too much. Yeah, so that's not a surprise. Oh, you know what? Iron Floss might fall. Ah! Alright, we're resetting. I actually think I get... no dwarves, Johnny Big Time, just goblins. How are you doing tonight? I actually think you get, in this one, I think you get the heroes back if you I think you get the heroes back if you lose one of them. But what I'm trying to do on this one is like, this is one of the very first encounters. Now, it's obviously, it's a 3-skull mission, so it's not by any stretch of the imagination easy. But I'm interested by the fact that I always seem to be losing someone at the end. And so I'm going to try and educate myself in terms of how I'm screwing things up. I'm going to save my whirlwind, knowing that these things tend to be scarce resources. And let's go... expected damage is slightly higher on this one. Ah, good. I actually, I screwed up on my planning. I have stuff in the house, but there's a snowstorm, so I didn't get my dinner stuff. I haven't actually had dinner yet. I'll figure it out. I'm actually more worried about what I'm doing for lunch tomorrow, because I didn't make dinner, but... By the way, for those of you who don't know him, Johnny Big Time did one of my favorite XCOM streams. No, he did my favorite XCOM stream. And I've been desperately hoping for him to do XCOM 2, although he will most likely do XCOM Enemy Within before. But he's a really nice guy, good friend of the streams, and if you are looking for somebody with a natural charisma, he's an incredibly entertaining broadcaster. I highly recommend that you check him out. Out of curiosity, Johnny, would you ever play a game like this on stream? I mean, I know you've done XCOM, but... Okay, so I have an opportunity to do some damage here because I've caught that. So unlike XCOM, the enemies don't run away, but that doesn't necessarily mean I have a lot of interesting options available to take them out. So, you know, it'd be nice to drag this stone pillar down onto this guy, but I don't think I can get the angle. So it might make sense for me to just go for the Overwatch. Yeah, it's not the most secure location, but it'll get me some early damage. Looks like they have the same idea. Oh, wonderful. I played a very short like demo, as in I was at a bar and they let me try it out because they knew I liked XCOM. And Mario vs. Rabbids is really clever. So, hey, the 57 hit. So again, I want to do whatever I can to take out the Overwatch. Now, I'm curious if I'm going to be able to Sparta this guy from the ledge. Yes, I am. So, open question about what I do with this guy, though. Oh, I know what I do. Pull the tree down. Okay, so we still need to mop everybody up. Unfortunately, I don't really have any way of knocking over this pillar anymore. So I will set myself up with some cover. Let's be careful. I'm slightly scared that by hitting this guy, the tree will knock over and whop me, so... Alright, that was not not the consequence, but you can never be too careful. So, if I try directly attacking the pillar, but it's got 12 health, so that's not going to work out. Maybe I just... Oh, we've got a guy who needs to get smushed. Oof. Alright, somebody's getting hurt. Okay. This is good for the flank, but doesn't... oh, hang on, he's already damaged, so that's not a problem. So in this case, I'm going to use the paladin to... take out the goblin here, and then I'll take the rogue to go pick up the health potion. How you doing, Ego Karen? I'm doing all right. All right, so I know where this is all going, so we're going to take Roger. Actually, so I'm going to be a little corny here. Oh, interesting. So I'm going to run ahead. I'm curious if this triggers any goblins. It does not. Okay. So this is, of course, cheesy as heck, but... I will do the dialogue after we finish this mission. Okay. So, of course, given the fact that I've sort of cheesed my position, I'm able to take advantage, well, theoretically able to take advantage of the positioning. It doesn't look like I have as many opportunities as I thought I might. I can definitely knock over a tree. This is still inviting the big bad boss to come and cause some problems, but let's get Avon. Question is, do I want him to Overwatch or not? Yes, actually I do, because anybody who comes after my Paladin or my Magician, so they're not going to be able to affect him, but he might be able to get a shot off when people come into melee range. Interesting. So the angles don't quite work for me. It would have been neat to try and get like a grappling shot. Oh, actually, you know what? This might have an interesting possibility. But it doesn't say where he'd be moving. Oh no, we'd be pulling him back. It's just such a small chance of hitting. Well, you know what? It's a chance. So basically, we get to clobber him while he slides by. We'll still go Healing Aura. So I do 2 to 3 damage because of that debuff that I got. So I can finish things off with this goblin and leave my guy open, or I kick down another tree. Yeah, you know what? My paladin's in good shape, so I'm not too worried about things. I should be a little bit worried about my rogue, but I don't believe they can kill in one hit, so... So this is attractive because of the extra health, but let's just see what our options are. Fireball, I mean, I rather like Fireball because it's another offensive cooldown. Blink is obviously very good for mobility. I think I'm going to do the Blink. I'll figure out where else I want to be going. Alright, looks like I have to give up the turn, so... Ooh, that's a heavy hit. Alright, so I gotta do something about this guy this turn, otherwise I lose my rogue. Thank you. Did not need help. Would per se get Grun eventually, but take longer. The skeleton seems weaker than before, more pale, and its voice is barely a whisper. The nether spews forth. The end is nigh. Glad to be of assistance. Goblins seldom venture so near out of towns. So near our towns. Have you any idea what they were doing? Perhaps you've spotted suspicious behavior. Krita pauses to recall all the details. In the last 2 days, goblins marauding, kidnapping, speaking with Shadow through evil artifacts, sacrificing to Demon King. But nothing out of the ordinary? Krita shakes her head. Ah, normal goblins. Another speak. The skeleton crumbles to dust. Curious. Solaris gestures towards the skeletons remain in the other cage. What of this mystery? You mentioned the fiend who rose without a necromancer? Yeah, Steve died 2 days ago. A day later, he got up by himself. Well, that's just not possible. Unliving can't simply rise on their own. A necromancer is required as a focal point for the unliving spirit. I can easily prove the theorem once we're in town using a simple intersected multivariate axis chart. Something tells me we're going to be short on time just then. And thus the theorem is indisputable. It's impossible for unliving to be assembled without a nearby necromancer. Krita shrugs and gestures towards the pile of bones as proof of her own theorem. Anyway, before goblin capture, I wait here for companion friends. Maybe you want strong fighter? Yeah, we need another for Orlean's contract. Welcome aboard. Huzzah! Alright, let's see what it gave me for a grade. B's not bad. Onwards! Wait a day and contact Orlean. Well, I'll do my best to, get some goodies while we're waiting. Also lock in some progress. We'll take the barrel. You come across a barrel and decide to smash it. Among its ruins, you unexpectedly find some valuables. Okay. So I think that is it for this turn. Alright gang, I'm summoning Orlean for a briefing. She's our biggest client yet, so let's all please be on our best behavior. I must afford next year's tuition, so it's either this or the loan sharks. And we all know how far away the ocean is. Leandra delicately pulls out and unfolds a crystal orb and chants words in an unfamiliar language. The word Orlean stands out. The orb brightens, swirls, and shifts to reveal the interior of a castle. Your Grace, 'tis an honor to be speaking with one of such... Thank you for contacting Lady Orlean of House... Sorry, let me try and figure this out right away, because I know this comes up a few times. Chatelivu. Okay. Thank you for contacting Lady Orlean of House Chatelivu, defender of the poor, gracious of the downtrodden, median of her name. Please stand by. Calming background music harp plays. Krita merrily hums along. Catchy. A muffled conversation is barely audible in the background. Lady, someone is on the crystal wall for you. Put them on hold. I just arrived and the walk was disgusting. I was in a carriage, of course, but I saw a man walking through the window. It may be Lord Beltry, Your Grace. He has a paladin. Beltry? About time. That old bastard has been colluding with the council for months. Unfortuitously for him, I've had them under my thumb since my 13th birthday coup d'etat. Put me through. Frickin' nobles. Leandra glares at Yvonne. Greetings! You are speaking with Lady Orlean of House Chatelivu, defender of the poor, gracious of the downtrodden, median of my name. Greetings, Your Ladyship. I'm Leandra, and we're an up-and-coming adventuring party, 4 strong, responding to your poster. Orlean looks surprised for a moment, but recollects herself quickly. I see! Good. Your assignment is a crucial one. A goblin horde has appeared and is terrorizing our valley, while the king's forces are indisposed in the succession war in the east. This explains a great deal. A goblin horde so close to our beloved valley. We must raise the banner against the invaders. Quite. You heroes are to recruit a local army, join forces with High Lord Avithus, and drive out a goblin raiding party not far from where you are. Join with High Lord Avithus, Lion's Mane himself? 'Twould be an honor to fight alongside such a great hero. Orlean rolls her eyes and mechanically delivers a rehearsed statement. Despite our disagreements, High Lord Avithus is a great nobleman who has proven his valor on the battlefield many times over, as many years. Lady, is this assignment all expenses included? Orlean wrinkles her nose. Excuse me. Sorry. 1 second. Yes, why not? Just spare me such crass details. Now I must away for the important matters of state. Farewell, brave adventurers. The orb grows dim. Krita beams with the rest of the party. That go good. I suppose. But didn't that feel too easy? Maybe I'm paranoid. You heard her. Time to raise an army and find Avithus. Alright. So again, game has told me to be quick, and I have learned the consequence for not being quick. But it is a tough call. Like, I do kind of want to make the most of my turns. So So what I think I'm going to do here, I will take care of stuff on the way, but I won't go on as many digressions. So, ready for battle. Don't forget your melee unit zone of control. Move next to ranged enemies to disable their ranged capabilities. Alright. He's got 2 skeleton militia and a skeleton weakling. And again, best options, if I can, involve combos. Now, unfortunately for me, it looks like I don't have a way of getting my paladin booting these 2 skeletons into each other. That would probably be a little too easy. Oh ho ho! I have an idea. God, I hope this works. Oh, I'm not close enough. Oh, is this a totally new map? Drat. Yeah, so what I wanted to try here, what I was going to try and do was move Krita up and then get her to lift the paladin 1 unit over so that she would be able to basically so that she could like she'd lift the paladin to the spot so that he could kick a skeleton into the other one. So I'm going to try one of these diagonal moves here. I suck. All right. That was particularly nasty because I could have used the I could have used that tree to just knock. I could have knocked the tree over and stun that guy. So I wonder if I can just boot him into the other skeleton. Yes, I can. I see what you're playing, Johnny Big Time, and I'm super happy about it. Let me know what you think. Sorry to be completely creepy about seeing your so-and-so just stepped into feature, but that's the world we live in. All right. So again, this guy's stunned. I don't have to worry about him retaliating. That's just fun to do. All right, A+. While the unit is moving, you can switch to the next one without waiting for the movement to finish. And that is particularly helpful in some circumstances. You find a chest filled with beets. You can either let the heroes in your party eat the beets and grow stronger, or use it for beet coins. I will... I think we'll go for the experience. See if there's anything else that I can do upgrade-wise. So I definitely need to do a better job of using my renown. So I figure... So tactics, units start with 1 extra action at the start of battle, but that's going to eat up all of my renown. Shoes will increase the speed by 1, tier 1 armor. Okay, so I basically get 1 upgrade. In this case here, I'm going to go for tier 1 weapons. As far as the fort's concerned, I need a citadel for the capital. Alright, so everything needs a citadel unless I... Yeah, you know what, let's just go for the citadel. Alright, let's deal with the goblin scouts. I should have dealt with the spiders first, but I messed up. Alright, so we've got a pair of archers that can cause me a little bit of grief. Nope, and we've got level ups galore. Okay, Bolster. Halves the damage received from attacks, does not cost any action points. Tempting. Holy Shackle summons Holy Light to paralyze an enemy, preventing it from moving. Ignores cover. That is a mighty tempting one now that I think of it. And Fire Blast. A blast of fire spreading from the Paladin, burning everything in its area of effect. Now that's going to be a challenge if I have allies nearby. I actually kind of... See, I like CC, but Solaris is kind of a frontline unit, so there is an argument for... Yeah, let's give him Fire Blast. Oh, interesting. I did not realize that you only pick one. I rather thought that the level up would be like everyone. Okay. So again, I'm just trying to think of any potential benefits I might get from a particularly clever combo. Well, let's start with the simple stuff. Yikes. Alright, well, the grappling hook's not going to do much for me here, so we'll set up an Overwatch. And... kind of want to see what this does. So that's going to give the target of, or attack of opportunity when the time comes. So it turns out picking up enemies and moving them is ridiculously effective. Alright, so we've got Boomerang, which is basically some range on my Barbarian. We've got Prod, which pushes a unit. See, one tile away doesn't seem to be enough. It's nice that it's a one action point one, but causes first reaction attack in a turn against the Savage to miss. I think I'm going to give Evasive Instincts. See? You find a pair of worn leather boots glowing faintly with what might be a trace of imbued magic. So, who do I want? So, Solaris and Krita have arguments for the leather boots because they're sort of a frontline unit, but better positioning for the units that can sort of set up combos and whatnot. Is also, I think I'm going to give it to Avon just because I tend to notice I don't use his grapple as much as I would like, and a big part of that is positioning. So we'll experiment with that for now. We've got Tormenting Tone story mission, summon. Okay, so see a well-groomed paladin preparing to assault a bridge guarded by goblins. Join him. The different urns in the crypt cause a variety of effects. Watch out. Obviously, this is relevant for the next level. Here we are. Is everyone prepared and in position? Yeah! Indeed. The power of justice awaits. Yeah. What's the plan, Avithus? A goblin warlord by the name of Gazran Crunchybones lines ahead. We shall liberate this village and its inhabitants by destroying him. Once we do, the rest will fall. They say Garzan is as savage as he is merciless, and his tortures are inhumane like no other. Yeah! Now human prisoners listen to the song Garzan play on kazoo. Later we watch his paintings of Garzan adorable nephew. Alright. I've got... Okay, so... If I can... kicking this barrel is the best. But looks like that isn't an option available to me. Okay, so my next priority needs to be finding out how do I deal with this melee goblin. Okay, the Fire Blast will only take one action. It's a bold move, but... So moving Krita in so that she can take advantage of of her attacks of opportunity. And then now Leandra is either going to have to try and take out this goblin, or at least find a way of knocking him over. I don't think this rock will move where I need it to, but let's see. Yeah, that doesn't, unfortunately. Okay, I'm very curious what happens if I whack this door. Cool. Alright, so I got the stun that I needed off of that. So in this case, Avon's in pretty good shape. If this archer tries anything, it's dead, so I'm going to move him just straight up to the tree. And then Avithus, I think it's a similar story, really. I can't say I see any reason to move the party ahead, so... one thing I could do is pick up this guy and move him. We get attacks of opportunity already, so... which reminds me... What?! Alright, I did not see that coming. This might become a problem. Let's start with Avon. Ah! Adventurers come to die? I chain you with the rest of humans. Then we reminisce about Garzan war stories. Who are you calling an adventurer? I am no other than High Lord Avithus Lionsmane, commander of the King's seasonal invasion forces, nominee of no less than 4 Golden Round Table awards, and hero of the Battle of Flop Valley. 4 nominees? 'Tis even more than I remembered. Garzan looks around uncomfortably, clearly unsure of what to say in the situation he's in. Solaris takes pity on the creature and audibly clears his throat. Garzan, what fiendish schemes are you plotting? Relief washes over Garzan's face. He nods a quick thank you and clears his throat. Humans! You are too late! This village, these people, are ours now. A goblin horde is here, and the darkness that lies ahead will consume you all for an eternity. Whatever nefarious plans you have concocted, they cease here and now. Release these good men and women. Oh, I will release them. Garzan pauses dramatically. From life! Slay the minions! Cover Garzan's evil escape! Okay, so let's see if we can do something about saving these guys this round. I don't think I get a shot. Well... I wasn't expecting that, but I'm happy it happened. So I'm gonna try the same. I'm gonna try the same strategy as last time. So what I can do here, I can run my. I can run my melee people up, and this actually gives me a bunch of attacks of opportunity. Or theoretically does. I need to make sure that at least one of them has two, so it doesn't give me the full complement. Oh, I kind of screwed this up. I think I can make this work, though. Yes. Yeah. Oh no, this should still kill him. What? Oh, that really sucks. The whole thing was predicated on the idea that these guys are going to take attacks of opportunity when they walk by. I guess if you run the full... You have to have like an action point available. This is really bad. So at this point I just got to set up an Overwatch and hope that we don't get hit too hard. Yeah, so again, attacks of opportunity basically aren't happening. Okay, so one thing we're going to do is get some much needed... Oh, I'm not... Oh, no, I can get it done. I'm going to get some much needed healing in for everyone. Now, how am I going to make the most use of Krita? So it's 2-tile range on the repositioning. Okay. So in theory, I can move Avithis. Oh no, I still only get one. Well, okay, let's see. Okay, so now Avithis is blocking, but that's fine. We still get the attack of opportunity. Yeah, so some of this is a little weird to try and figure out exactly what the rules are. It's still fun though. Curious if I get any shots. Yeah, it's unlikely, but... Nice. Alright, so... Looks like Solaris is still on fire. Everybody else is okay, though. What I think I'm going to do here, this isn't necessarily the smartest thing for me to do with Avithis, but he does have a lot of health, so I'm going to run him straight ahead just so that we can get some scouting in. Alright, so we got some bombardiers. That's 3. That's a pity. I was hoping to do something clever with like a kick. I probably overplayed my hand here. Okay, we'll get people into position and hope for the best. My hope is that Avithis is the main target for the bad guys this round. And the guy with the boots is the least effective in positioning right now. All right. It's looking grim. Okay, so again, the key on this one is if I can take out the big bad guy, then the rest is sort of moot. I think I'm going to start by moving Leandra up. Let's see if I can get a little chip damage in with... Problem is I might move them the wrong way. Ooh, yeah, that just messed up my plans big time. Okay, let's work on some second best options then. These guys are a big pain because they blow up when they die. So maybe the best I can hope for is to conk them out. I do need somebody to get a kill, though. Okay, because Avithus got it, that doesn't count as the heal. What kind of range danger am I in? Pretty dire. Let's just want to clonk them against the... Grapplehook's chance to hit is not affected by cover. That's a pretty strong one, given my current circumstances. I think in this case I'm actually going to move... I'm going to move Avon up, because again, this is public enemy number 1. As for the rest of it... I mean, Krita has options. The problem is that any of the options that involve her getting closer to the enemies means that she's potentially open to the archer, which is not a good time with her health. This is one of the things that I think the permadeath promotes, which isn't necessarily a desirable feature of the games like this. If you become overly cautious, you wind up kind of ruining the game for yourself. All right, Ego Karen, thank you very much for stopping by. All right, dangerous, but not impossible to deal with. Oh, why'd you do that? You were so helpful, like not. Alright, a kick is a 2-action point move, so... Ugh, that's like the perfect spot to be annoying. So I gotta deal with this guy at range. Right now he's got 9 health, so I'm not gonna be able to take him out. So they just run in and try and murder him. Yeah, the heal is such a big thing for this guy. I really hate having to pull units out of the fight this way. None of these are particularly inspiring spots either. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I do need a solution for the bomb. I don't really have a way of knocking anything over effectively. I'm curious what... I really wish it would tell me what that is. So again, this is all chip damage. This isn't actually that meaningful. So I'm kind of wondering if I have 3 heroes, I can basically get into melee range and like box this guy in. I do, and this is so stupid. Especially because there's actually a way that my characters still die doing this. What are you doing? Ah! I thought I was clicked on the barbarian. So the one thing I don't want to do is lift this guy for the auto attacks. This is a lot close. Oh yeah, I shouldn't actually be this close to this guy. I'm pretty sure he can take me out in... I don't know, it's 3 or 4. So there's an unlucky combination where the archer and the barbarian are able to take me out, but I'll take the risk. Partly because if I frost him, I don't think he moves as far. Yes, okay, so I just kept my arch safe. So, one thing that I would do, like if I was the AI, I would kill the 2 units by just like moving this unit to wherever I can. I'm assuming diagonal moves are a thing, but the whole plan behind this is basically to stop him from being able to throw bombs. So we'll see whether or not that works. All right, well, we're resetting. That one was clowny. The burning doors, I'm still not 100% sure what happened there, but we'll learn. Okay, so where I can, I'm going to try and get people close up so that I can lift them and move them later. Right, that's inconvenient, but... So the plan here is we move Solaris up, and by lifting this guy we get a bunch of attacks of opportunity on this goblin. Oh, but the one thing I didn't exactly account for was retaliate. Well, no, we do have retaliation on the archer, but we can get a little closer. Now, unfortunately, we have alerted these hombres, so let's... I'll try and go for some Overwatch. Again, it'll probably be wasted. The smartest way to deal with the Overwatch would probably be this unit moving on its own. I'm not 100% sure how it does how it properly triggers all of that. But I guess we're about to find out. The drawback, of course, is that, well, okay, if I wanted the free hits... Oh, that really did blow the Overwatch. All right. My fault. Okay, so the part that's tough about this area now is that we've got an archer who's going to keep us suppressed. And I don't have a lot of obvious moves in terms of... I don't have a lot of obvious moves in terms of, like, getting these guys cleaned out. These are melee units. Well, we'll start with what we've got. So I've got a couple of ranged people who are able to lay down some covering fire or possibly pull people into inconvenient spots. In the worst case as well, I can move up one of these units and, yeah. No, it's a 3 unit move, so that's not going to work either. Alright, well, looks like we're hunkering down with Overwatch. Avithus. Ooh, I made the same mistake like last time. So specifically, I'm moving both Solaris and Avithus because one of them might wind up damaged. As for the rest, I do want to try and get a kick in, but I don't think I can get a kick that's effective for anything. So you know what? I'm just going to advance. Well, that worked really well. So again, that was about locking down the archer, and that succeeded. Now this is interesting. So I believe I can just walk up and kick the toadstool here. This is also going to allow me a few other opportunities. I think I know how I'm going to do this. So one big question is what Avon can do here. Okay, so he can get a diagonal pull. This is going to be a little bit of a... It's going to be a little bit of a stretch, but this will actually do some really cool things if I can pull it off. This is precautionary. I was originally going to get her to do an Overwatch, but I'm in a really bad spot if this thing doesn't pull off, so... I'd love to like clobber this guy here, but this guy is a higher priority. So I'm going to risk the... Let me just double check. Yeah, so I'm going to risk the Overwatch. Okay, so the first thing I want to try... I've lost sight now. Odd. Maybe that was... Okay. I kind of wish... I wish I was a little more aware of that. I could have just misread that, but I really thought that I was going to be able to move that character. Okay, so we can deal... Well, 7 to 10. Okay, so it's a guaranteed hit. I don't need to get sophisticated. I was originally going to try and pull the guy so that everybody got the attacks of opportunity. But again, we knew that we take out the commander, and in this case, the mission's done. So, falls back! Falls back! Oh, is this a bug? As Garzan falls, he utters his final words in the best of goblin traditions. You may have defeated me, but my master, Garvarak the Terrible, has unveiled an artifact of utmost... Utmost what? Innovation? Ingenuity? Ineptitude? Friends, the amateurish nature of that ominous last speech irks me. Greatly did it require dramatic pauses, perhaps some hand-wringing where necessary. If we are to become great heroes, we must seek worthier foes. Avon rolls his eyes. Next job's raiding the Poets Guild, isn't it? Well done, heroes, but this beast's ominous words leave me wary as to the goblin's plans. Village folk emerge from the various hideouts, rallying around Avithus. Avithus beams a well-practiced, authentic smile to the crowd. Friends, it is good to see many of you emerge alive and unharmed from this ordeal, but I see also the fear in your eyes, and understand it, for I feel it with you. The longing for peace and stability. These are trying new times that we face. His voice takes on a hopeful, inspiring intonation. But especially in our hardest times, we must come together and as one, rebuild and show these monsters that we are not so easily cowed. He finishes his sentence with an air of excitement. The crowd cheers wildly, filling the pause before Avithus resumes his speech. I regret not only having arrived earlier, but you see, in the midst of my path was a burning orphanage. As the party makes its way out of the village, the sound of Avithus' voice is drowned out by the villagers chanting of Avithus and Lion's Mane. We got a C for all of that effort. Kick is the only physics ability without a cooldown. The orb suddenly glows in Leandra's backpack. Leandra carefully unpacks and wraps the glowing orb. Aurelian's image appears on the other side. I understand congratulations are in order. That Gazran has been dealt with. Did you encounter High Lord Avithus? Encountered and brave deadly battles side by side. Perils around every corner, as true brothers in arms. Keep it in your pants. Aurelian nods thoughtfully. Now for your next assignment. The Goblin Horde occupies the town of Nerl. You are to confront the Horde's leader, Garbarak. He is well entrenched in his position, but you will be joined by Avithus and dispose of this menace together. Once Garbarek is out of the way, the valley will be safe and our agreement ended. Know that this assignment is very difficult, perhaps suicidal. Embarked on it well prepared. You think you're dumb? We're dumb? We're gonna take that big of a damn These goblins are powerful, yes, but our valley calls upon you to serve, and should you fall, your sacrifice will mean the safety of many others. Are you with us? To the ends of the earth! Strongest survive is not goblin. Wait, a suicide mission? Monetary compensation in accordance with the risk is included. To the ends of the earth! Avon rolls his eyes. Excellent. Meet Avithus on the outskirts of Narrow Village to confront Garbarak. Good luck, heroes. Frickin' nobles. Avon spits on the ground. Look, I was for all doing it for the coin, but we're getting real deep in it now. Working for these bastards is gonna mean trouble. The nobles? What do you have against them? Bunch of snakes backstabbing each other and trying to win a popularity contest to see who's more famous. But you yourself are guilty of the same. I've seen a sketch of you in every sheriff's lodge in this valley. It's not Avon, it's a similar-looking arsonist ranger. We hope. I'm telling you, these nobles ain't up to no good. They're always scheming something. But they are the greatest of us, given power and authority to wield responsibly by our ancestors, to lead and to guide. 'Tis they who drive our people to be our best selves. Well, we're not doing this again. I can't listen to another heroic speech about the aristocracy. The last one lasted 2 days. Even the bandits ambushing us turned himself in and reformed as a priest. Let's move to our objective. We have a lot of ground to cover. Alright, so I've definitely learned if I don't rush this stuff, bad things happen. So we are going to try and just beeline to the objective. This might have other negative consequences, but... oh, neat. Okay, I might do a small small digression to pick up some goodies. I mean, obviously the game has also said, you know, take some time to equip yourself. But okay, Citadel, next upgrade would be a castle, boosts our hero cap. Cool. City Hall's too expensive. University is also too expensive. I could put my monthly income into uncovering a plot. But I think at this point, it's probably better for me to try and get whatever experience bonuses I can, so. Did I miss something? Oh, I don't have the... Okay, so I wasted that turn. That's a shame. Well, it would have been too short to get anything anyway, so that's fine. Oh, I should also see if there's any party upgrades. So the guild upgrades, like I sort of understand how the game tried to teach me. It said, hey, upgrade your party size right away, and I just sort of lost the plot in terms of the fact that there are other upgrades inside here. But this is definitely something I needed to take more advantage of last time I played. Okay, so it's odd that you can't click on the map and move it around. Well, unfamiliar is probably the better term. Again, this is probably not the smartest use of my time. Well, I don't know. I got stuff, so. Okay, so the Beat Distillery. Now, I don't have any beat farms. Brotherhood of the Hammer, non-movement actions performed by units have a 7% chance of not costing any action points. That's tempting. So I get to build one of these. I think the infirmary might be the better call in this situation, especially if I'm going to be rushing to the end mission. I don't actually want to be investing in my hero's sort of improvement. I want to be getting as many sort of buffs as I can. Okay, so you stop next to a small potion shop in the form of loose planks and a hovel-like structure. A shifty-eyed and overactive potion brewer emerges from within. You're just in time, he says. These are the last I've got. He laughs disturbingly. Action potion would be really helpful, but I think in this case I'm going to go for health. You reach an exquisite totem. Awed by its magnificence, you feel like you can also do better if you just put your mind to it. Such types of resolve usually don't last long. +2 speed for the next battle. We'll pick up a very dead corpse. You come across a corpse. With a quick glance, you see that the adventurer's code was not followed through. Followed through. No one has yet to go over the deceased loot. Okay, so I've got enough for the upgrade that I wanted, but again, I might be my priorities might have shifted. So we can build a castle. But the advantages are hero caps and siege. We can build a university, which will help me gain XP, but like I said, we're trying to end this quickly. And of course, the capital will increase my Bitcoin acquisition. But again, if I'm going to be trying to finish the mission quickly, I should be focusing on things that will make me a better fighter. So I think Infirmary gives me a little more tankiness. Stables is a really good one because it gives me some extra movement over time, but just on the competition between the two, I kind of feel like Infirmary. Well, okay, Grudge Camp is probably the best out of all of them. Units with melee abilities retaliate upon being hit by a melee attack, but I'm gonna go for the survivability first. And we didn't do any combat, so we don't have any more renown, but that'll be fixed shortly, I think. So let's start by checking out the mystery. You stand in front of a menacing stone statue. The vines and greenery coiled around it imply that it's been some time since anyone has visited. Spotting a crumbled tile leading to a hollow interior, you crawl your way through, finding 3 menacing masks. You recognize them from the old folk story, the Masks of Thee. So I've never actually gotten the Mask of Knowledge. I'm a little curious about the Mask of War, because I can actually see that working, especially with the Infirmary now. But in this case, we're going to go for the Mask of Knowledge, and that's so I can find out what it does. So Mask adorned with the All-Seeing Eye, XP gain increased by 10%, and 10% accuracy to attacks against you. All right. Leandra gets that, and we're going to give Solaris and Krita the potions. So I will not pick up the Mask of Knowledge ever again. Mask of Know-It-Alls. Okay, a clique of footmen. I do want to get some combat in. I could also go for the beet farm against the spiders. I think the clique of footmen is a little bit better for me, though. Okay, that's a lot of footmen. So first thing I want to do is take Avon to drag these two guys into each other. Yeah, I can't do that inside a mission trap. So the thing I'm a little worried about is whether or not the angles are right. That is a really remote chance. Okay, well, that was fun. Problem is now I actually really need to think about how I'm going to mitigate the damage. I kind of want to hurt the footmen the most. Peasants I'm a little less worried about. Well, here's something fun that I can start with. No, that only hits one guy, though. Alright, sometimes you just gotta whack somebody with a hammer. This'll be fun. Okay, so I can get her to either just do a direct attack, or I can get her to move. What does that really gain me? So I've only got... I mean, I could definitely get another, I can get like the whirlwind in. Alright, I'm not too excited about this move, but I do, like I said, I want the footman to be disabled. So I can get her a better blink, I can get her a magic arrow, or, yeah, you know what, let's go for the better magic arrow. Okay, so Krita can either do a direct attack, or she can throw someone. Let's just do a straight attack. So that's a really effective way of dealing with any retaliation that I had. So... as Blink is worth its weight in gold. Unfortunately, I don't really have any other abilities to sort of do some fancy magic with. Oh, here's a creative way of handling this. This is going to be ridiculous, but I like it. So I can charges in a straight line going through small objects and walls, destroying everything in her path. Cannot go through units or big objects. Dash and slash gains an extra action point for the savage. Battle cry, all allied units move closer to the savage while maintaining cover where possible. Does not cost any APs for the moving units. Ooh, those are all really good. I think I'm going to do dash and slash. Now here's the funny thing, is that I actually get a second one of these. Just gotta think about... So I've already tried to use my grapple, so I'll leave this guy... Or actually, hang on, before I do any of that. Let's take Avon, get him to mop up. Wow, that's a really bad aim. That's better. All right. So I thought I already took the... No, apparently I didn't already take the no cover penalty. So that's a big one. That actually explains a lot. Fires a quick weak shot with reduced accuracy. Does not cost any action point. Fun, but not super important. Marks the target, increasing accuracy against it. That strikes me as a much better upgrade. Okay, so Leandra has another pickup, so we take the peasant. Oh, come on! I really thought that was gonna, take the peasant. I was gonna get like attacks of opportunity on them. All right. Anyways, easy ways to fix this. Boot the tree. And seeing as I figure Leandra's the more likely target... I mean, Leandra's probably going to be affected by either one of these, but in this case, this is the most direct way of dealing with this problem. I mean, theoretically, I could have used dash and slash to, like, move her back in a defensive position, but it's not really worth it. Paladin's Blinding Light ability is very effective at disabling enemy overwatch, as it is guaranteed to hit. Unstable magic it is. You come across a charged magical source. It is unstable and must be consumed immediately. You can either harvest its magic or use it to strengthen your party. Definitely 2 health. Because again, like I said, if we're heading straight for the end game, I don't want to be investing in long-term upgrades. I want to be investing in improvements for the party. Speaking of guild, we're waiting. We need University 2. So we have the Renown for Tier 2 weapons, but we need a better University, which we probably won't have in time. So let's go for Defensibility. I also have Beats, so... I'm not 100% sure about this choice, but... Probably the University would have been the better acquisition, to be honest. Okay, so again, I have this bad habit of doing side quests, but we know we can't get to the objective this turn anyway, so we might as well take out the spiders. So this is a big one that I should have paid attention to last time. Overwatch and Attack of Opportunity are disabled when you're damaged. So the thing about the spiderlings is there's a lot of them. The best way to handle them, if I can, is a bunch of wild combos. Whether or not I am actually capable of delivering on such a promise is an open question. So, Solaris, cooldown on Fire Blast. I mean, it's the only thing I can do. I'm a bit disappointed with Fire Blast, to be honest, though. So one approach I'm definitely thinking of here with Solaris is just to run him into the middle of the spiders and try and find a way of dragging them all over the map. But let's see if there's some more elegant options. So for instance, one really effective method would be if I can get a hero... I think I could get like a hero here. No, that won't work. I mean, that or we just go and like punch for the face. You know, there's a side of me that says, why don't I just get them to come to me? Oh, because they already can. Okay, well, ranged people on the side... those are some grim numbers. All right. I'm curious what happens if I drag it into the water. Cool. The idea on this one is to try and take out anything that's a potential threat to my heroes. No, that wasn't a kill. That really wasn't worth it. Oh, but see, Leandra is a target now, so... I'm kind of curious how they're going to react to this, because I don't think they have any options to damage me. Yeah, I guess they're going to rely on overwhelming. Well, I know what I'm doing. Ah, smart. Okay, so we will set up... this is a tough call, actually. No, I'm going to set up here for reasons that will be apparent in a moment. Oh, that sucks. I was really hoping that she'd be smacking that. Sorry, the spider would get that. Okay, so it actually cancels the chain. Fair enough. Now I got to think about some ways that I can move the spiders. That prompts attacks of opportunity. Okay, I don't get this attack of opportunity thing at all. Oh, well, I guess the icon's there, but I still don't know what causes it. All right, that's put me in a bit of a bind. So effectively, I just lost my mage for that round for no good reason. Let's see. Just trying to think about ways that I can get Avon to come in and deal with some of the riffraff. It's a little aggressive, but oh Christ! Yeah. So this is why I could really use some indicator as to whether or not that counts as being in cover. So this protects the paladin for no reason, and turns out it doesn't protect him at all. So anyways, we'll win this. It's just it would be nice if I it would be nice if I had a little less or sorry, I had a little more information on the situation I was in. So this is just fun. I gotta clear out Avon, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to retaliate. 79 versus 91. Still worth it. Yay! I think the grade probably puts a very high premium on the physics damage. I'm not sure, but you can create a new party in your town if there's no other party occupying it. Like the enemy party. Oops. Okay, so pick up the coin chest. Again, I'm going to go for the experience. I'm hoping we're not at level cap. So Solaris is probably the least interesting in terms of upgrades. Let's do Avon first. So new ability, quick shot, smoke, blinds targets in an area, blinds allies and enemies alike, having their chances to hit. Dangerous, but let's give it a shot. So Krita does have some levels that she can go on. I wonder if it just doesn't inform it for me. So I can get charge. I can get bloodlust. On killing an enemy, the savage becomes frenzy, gaining an extra action point. That seems really good. Alternatively, I get an extra cooldown on dash and slide. I think I'm going to do bloodlust though. Solaris is able to do stuff. So heal effect increased by 1. Hammer strike ignores the target's defense. Encourage will add AP. Yeah, this is too good to pass up. Looks like Leandra's also got some abilities too, so I guess we'll go for telekinesis after all. As you enter the Temple of Ver, god of sacrifice, it is barren, as it should be, but mysteriously well maintained. A fountain of blood stands before you. Blood shall set thy wish free, the plaque exclaims. You may take a boon, but your heroes will suffer 3 damage at the start of every battle for 2 days. The renown would be kind of nice, because that'll give me some extra 3 damage at the start of every battle, and we're getting ready for the last battle. I'm going to take it. Actually, yeah, because that just gives me an excuse to wander around and do some other stuff. And then... we're already at the target, so oh, I think they might be forcing the issue in a little bit. I don't think they can reach my capital, so get some extra speed. We'll take. Oh, we don't have a choice. So I could go after a few wizards. Nah, we'll move on, and that should be the end of that sort of that detriment. Now, as far as upgrades are concerned, there really isn't anything that I can do. We don't have enough for the university, so that's off the table. I could buy sort of reserve heroes if I felt particularly threatened. I think we're just going to sit on this for a little bit. Because again, when this is done, that should be the end of our 2-day, sort of our 2-day penalty. And so we should be able to go straight after the story mission. Yeah, they're definitely not heading to our... Ah... Alright, ready for the final battle? 4 of your strongest living heroes of each class with their levels and abilities will travel with you to the next act. Don't forget to use your melee weapon's zone of control move next to ranged enemies to disable their ranged capabilities. Adventurers! I've waited long enough. It's past time you appeared. Garbarak has been spotted inside this section of the village, along with numerous proletariat. They are close to a tunnel entrance where allegedly this goblin invasion began. The time to strike is now! Apologies for the delay, my lord. What's our plan? We shall perform a simple Avithus pincer maneuver. Our forces are split into 3 groups. The first will deploy from the rear, but this is merely a feint. The second group shadows the first and performs a pincer maneuver as a decoy. Once that's occurring, the third group clambers out of their hiding spot. Why do you nobles gotta complicate things? They know we're coming. Let's just go at them with everything we've got. A double feint. Assault the gates, throwing off the expectation of a quadruple duplicity and battle plans, so their battle plans into chaos? They'll never see it coming. Avon rolls his eyes. Right. Okay, let's, So again, obviously I've learned a little bit more about how to sort of wring the most efficiencies out of my units. Okay, and these are all ranged, so I've got... So, the way that I can kind of break down this problem is, say, I've got 3 melee units and 4 goblins I need to take out. One of these goblins can be dealt with by knocking a tree over onto them. Now, one thing I'm a little scared about is what happens if I move... Oh, do I just straight up open this thing? That'd be really funny. Okay. Let's actually go for the folks who are furthest in the rear. Yeah, at this point I just need to get close enough to lock them down. It's not exactly the most exciting move I could have done, but... Oh, although there might be a possibility here, so if I pick him up... Okay, but I can only move him in my immediate area, so... Well, but I can move him back in my zone of control. Well, no, because that's still going to screw up my... That's still going to screw up my auto attacks. I might have actually just ruined this for myself. Okay. So question number 1 is what Avon can get away with from... Actually, you know what? I'm a little more interested in what my wizard can do. So we'll move Leandra up. I'm curious if she can knock this bookcase over. Yes. Glorious. Alright, so it seems to me the right call is to smack this guy down. Alright, so we know that they can't damage us this turn now. And it turns out it was... So I only get 1 attack of opportunity. I'll get him to just do the standard club. Speed potion. I'd like to do something, but I think I'm going to set myself up for an Overwatch. If I wind up aggroing enemies from here... Yep, so that's exactly what happened. By the 13 gods! The unliving! The return from the dead! Does our poor valley's troubles know no end? Hold fast, innocent villagers! We shall rescue you at once, else my name is not Avithus Lion's Mane! Alright, so setting up Overwatch. This is kind of more of an intermediate turn. Just to make sure that I'm able to... Oh, let's get Leandra's upgrade. Electrocutes an enemy, causing it damage whenever it moves, lasts 2 turns, and ignores cover with a decent range. And then we have Empower. Empowers an ally for 2 turns, greatly increasing the physics capabilities, allowing them to push-pull targets much further. That sounds really cool, but I think I'm going to go for some more offensive spells on the wizard. Okay, so one thing I want to make sure I don't do is run these guys into a spot that the skeletons can attack them. So it's not the best cover, but it'll do. Huh. So I could do dash and slash. Ooh. This might cost me, but... Yep. Well, she's gonna take some damage, but... Sparta! That was fun. Oh, here we go. Now we encourage her. And she gets some fancy cover. Can't win them all. Alright, so being able to kill one of these guys will heal me. But obviously I'm gonna do the boot again. Oh, that sucks. I thought he was supposed to bang into this guy. That makes things inconvenient. Okay, I'm not quite able to seal the deal on this guy yet, but that's fine. We can at least get the stun in. So this guy can potentially cause me some pain. It's a decent chance. Yeah, some of this physics, like I get where it's going, but it definitely feels a bit galaxy brain. Okay, so I don't know if this will work. Oh, it does. Nice. And that got me the heal as a nice little side bonus. I don't believe there's any more goblins. So this has actually been a fairly good run of this level. I'm only going to go up to that... I mean, this still may trigger enemies, but... Alright. Also, I need to remember actually what I should have done. I should have moved up here so that I could have moved her for the attack of opportunity on this goblin, but... Oh. I don't know if this will count as an attack of opportunity, but this is not a bad time for me to learn whether or not that'll activate it. No. But at least it's locked him down. She's already got the health action, so let's find somebody who doesn't already have it. Congratulations, Avon. Honestly, my... I'm going to move him up the 1. Yeah, I still get the option later. Okay. Let's see where the rest of my guys wind up. A bit tacky. More skulls for the foyer? Garbarak, what are you doing? Well, I'm trying to decorate my new house with this lovely floral arrangement of blood blossoms on a backdrop of mucus vinyl for the hallway. But that clash with drapery. No, it won't. It'll look fantastic once the tapestry is in place. You monster! Talking about the villages, you bastard. Let him go. Oh, that. No, I think I'll kill you all instead. Execute the prisoners! Lord Avithus, reinforcements are here, sent from the capital. Excellent. Secure the flank, amass for a triple inverted prong decoy formation. Lord, I'm to give you an urgent missive. Aureline sends her regards. Treason! Sound the alarm! I knew it. Well, boys, looks like half of your work was done for us, just as planned. Slay them, my minions, then regroup in the caves for a traditional post-hero slaying pig pie and hot cocoa. Garbarak withdraws to the nearby cavern. We're attacked on both fronts. Get ready. Aye, time to perish in glorious battle. What? No! Just hold them off! Okay, so first thing I want to do... Sparta! I am never going to get tired of doing that. So my barbarian... Actually, my barbarian's not in as bad of a spot as I thought she would be. I can do the dash and slash... Ooh. It's not a perfect setup, but I think I'm going to take it. I'm sort of relying on the fact that I have this heal for any damage that she's going to wind up taking as a result of this. So Avon doesn't have any... Oh, actually he does have actions. So can I reach the bad guys? No, I can't. So next best... It's a very remote chance that any of this stuff's going to work. Oh, hang on. No, out of range. Yeah, it's like a 1 in a million shot. Well, okay. I was trying to think if maybe I can move him close enough that he pulls a goblin into a convenient spot, but I don't think that's going to happen either. So let's... Yeah, actually, this is a tough call. So there's a side of me that says, okay, take your lumps and do the damage. Another side says, well, Overwatch. Overwatch is actually the worst of these options because it gives the enemy the choice as to how... Like, so Overwatch can be really good in games like this, but if you just reflexively do Overwatch, the challenge is that you give your enemy the opportunity to decide where your attack goes. So this would be a case where I don't want to do an Overwatch because they can take one of these stun guys who can't do anything anyway and still free up the goblin. So I'm not going to be able to take out the goblin this turn, I think is a pretty well-established fact. I mean, this is a pretty flankable position. So, you know what? I'm going to be a baby. Although, nope, I was going to say I might be able to do something fancy with the... with Encourage, but Solaris has already taken his turn. This is the thing, right? These guys are not dead, they're stunned, but it's bought me enough time to sort of deal with my situation. So, I'm just trying to think if there's something fancy I can do. It's pretty clear I'm not going to be able to contribute here, so in this case we'll just split the party 2 by 2. And I think my aim here is to do as much damage as I can. 1 per tile. Yeah, electrocute actually seems really good here. So he's got more health. I was also just trying to think, I was like, maybe I get a chance to move him into an attack of opportunity, but no. So I'll set myself with a little bit of distance. Okay, and Avon... I mean, if I want, I can move this rock, but I think we can... I think I can live without moving the rock. Okay, Overwatch. I wasn't expecting that. The Overwatch is actually going to be a bit of a trickier one to deal with. Now, this is the guy with the most health, so I think this is the right call. It does, of course, leave me open to retaliation, but I'm gonna save Krita's move until I have a clearer idea of the position. Now, looks like these guys didn't move at all, so in this case, we're gonna do our usual routine. Oh, I thought that was gonna knock over the toadstool again. So that could not have been a worse. That could not have been a worse choice for me to make. Okay, so I'm gonna blink into range. I probably didn't need to blink, if I'm completely honest. Crushed to death by a toadstool. Alright, Avon doesn't really have a lot to do at the moment. It's probably the best shot that I've got. For some reason that counts as... Oh, it's distance. Okay. Hey, that's unexpected. So that actually potentially gives me some... Yes! Okay, that gives me a really nice option here. So I'm going to move Krita in this spot. So this basically means that this archer's locked down. Now she's still open to this guy doing an attack. But of course, if he wants to do the attack, that means he's going, you know, he's moving into play, and that I'm going to have my reinforcements coming to finish the job before too long. So I think she doesn't really have anything. All right, well, let's have a little fun, and if this guy takes damage every tile that he moves, we'll throw him a distance. Nice. I'm getting pretty lucky on these. Alright, so I think it's kind of fair to say these guys are too far back to really have a meaningful impact on the battle. Knowing that I'm going to need some cover, I'm going to move Avon to a new position. There's a side of me that wants to try and pull away that that cover. Alright, this'll do in a pinch. Can I not attack the goblin? Alright, yes. So the hope here is for the stun. Nice. So again, we'll see what we've got on this side of the map before I do anything too exciting. Yeah, this is quite literally just running people in. So a big thing I want to be careful about is making sure that any archers are locked down in the sense that they're not able to attack. Although it occurred to me that if I take out the one archer, then that just means that I can move Krita closer to the stunned guy, so... Number one. Oh yes, and she gets extra AP. Avon was so impressed he gained a level. Knockback arrow. I'm not even going to think about that. Okay, so she got the one. Yeah, okay, so I'm not going to be able to kill anyone, but I am going to be able to move her in a good spot. Also, I get any cover just in case there's bad guys in the area. Nice. That was I'm actually really happy with how that went. There's obviously like a couple of screw ups in terms of not knowing that the mushroom cap was not accessible, but that was I think that was that's clearly an indication that I've learned the game a little bit better. The sound of goblin movement from the surroundings intensifies, and the heroes soon realize that to make matters worse, escape will not be possible. Betrayal! Lady Oraline tricked us! Yeah, it's a real shocker. Highborns playing their backstabbing games at the expense of us expendable lowborns. Who would have thunk? Did you hear what the goblin said? They knew about the betrayal. That means Oraline told them. She must have hired the goblins. We cannot let this pass. We must pursue Garbarak and bring him before the court of law to testify against Lady Oraline. Why? Who will pay us to do that? Oraline? 'Tis beside the point. We cannot let a treacherous snake such as she roam free. And she ruined good fight. For once I'm with steel brains. Solaris seems both confused and flattered. Truly? Yeah, but not for your dumb reasons. This ain't ending with us walking away. We know too much. Oraline wants us dead. And if the goblins don't do it, she's gonna pin this whole mess on us and we'll end up behind bars. Trust me, there's always one ploy deeper with these silkwearing turds. How is a humble ranger so familiar with the machinations of the aristocracy? You're fishing for a tragic backstory, ain't you? Well, it's not happening. Let's get out of here. Oop, I seem to be getting a little lag, but something's happening and I can't see it. Nope. As dozens of goblins converge on the village, the heroes hurriedly slip into the dark, unknown caves in pursuit of the elusive Garbarak. Sorry, Krita, you're left on your own. Hey, it gave me an A. The Mage's Whirlwind ability can be used to topple trees or pillars on enemies hiding behind them. Alright, so I don't have too much time left. I'm going to do a little bit more of the next level. But if you do have any questions about the game or anything you'd like to see, now would be a really good time to ask those questions. The different urns in the crypt cause a variety of effects. Watch out! So it does sort of seem one lesson, maybe not a lesson, but like one thing that I'm sort of taking away from this version. When I'm given a strategic layer in a game, I tend to really like to make the most of it. Like I like to build up my kingdom. Johnny says, this game looks fun. Have you played this before? Yes, I have. I played it on Friday, I think. The developer Cookie Bite got in touch. So this is one of these great examples of, you know, I'm definitely swamped with stuff that I feel like I need to cover because I was given a key for it. But I do still want to keep some spaces open to try out new things. And so this is one, I actually don't know how they found me. It might be that they were looking for sort of related games, and I'd done, I'd done XCOM before, I've done Battletech, I've done Age of Wonders Planetfall, which is probably really close to, these are the sorts of things that kind of indicate you might be interested in a game like this. But yeah, they just reached out on Twitch and asked if I was interested, and it was one of these cases where it seemed like I was kind of locked in at Fantasy XCOM, but like actually sitting down and playing it, especially all of the physics elements, those really sort of shone for me. And like I said, you can see where I'm messing things up and potentially, getting in trouble. But it's a really charming game. It's by an Israeli developer. and they had a Kickstarter a couple of years ago. They're still in early access, but they're looking for feedback. And I mean, I wouldn't have okay. So I've obviously talked about some cases where I think the game might be improved in some minor ways. But if I had not known that this was in early access, I would not have said that this game is incomplete. Maybe minor things. I'm not entirely sure if this is the final form for Leandra because she doesn't have arms. It could be. I'm not sure, but. So there's a couple of small indicators that, there might be some placeholders. Some of the background art, for instance, on the loading screens are definitely very different looking from things that look a bit closer to the finished version. But yeah, like I said, I mean, it's a great looking game. It's funny. It's it definitely, beyond a couple of maybe obvious tells, I would not have thought that this was a work in progress still. Then again, all games are kind of now. It's really nice that we're able to see games continue to get support if they're successful. But yeah, so I played this on Friday, but we're now into new territory. So I'll have about 15 or 20 minutes of new stuff. And again, when I play games that I like, I also tend to go a little bit later. But I haven't had dinner, so it's, no promises. Anyways, Leandra Page Turner. Leandra pauses to catch her breath as she stares at the darkness behind them. I think we lost him. I cannot believe the noble's code, the noble's duty to their people. How can this be? For Orlean to act in such a low, sneaky, shifty, wicked, deceitful, double-dealing, devious, loathsome, evil, vile, repugnant, base, repellent, depraved, debauched, sly, underhanded, duplicitous, bad, not good, common manner. This ain't common, pal. This is as pure noble as you get. Bunch of backstabby, glory-seeking, freeloading parasites. But the code! The noble's privilege and duty to their people, their houses, their kingdoms. Solaris gestures helplessly, finding no comfort in the words. Yeah, look, this is the noble's code. You see a back turned your way, stab it before it stabs you. Trust me, I stabbed enough backs in my day to know a deft backstabber. Very poetic. Could we concentrate on the mission at hand? We're dead men... Women too! Dead men and women, if we go back now. We have to retrieve the evidence that Orlean conspired against Avithis. Avon, you're a ranger. Yep, real ranger, with a certificate. Even the watch couldn't prove otherwise. What? Can you track them? Oh, nah. We're in a cave. Ain't no footprints in the stone. Alright. Do I have a spell? I do have a spell that can help us. It's a seeking spell. But it requires me to channel mana until we reach our target. Again? You promised no more channeling. We must. It's for the sake of due process. Leandra licks her lips with a hungry look on her face. Why not? How could things be made worse than the current state of affairs? How could the toll be heavier to bear after this affliction of treachery? Woe on us! We are naught but playthings of mendacious heroes and false gods. The party shifts uncomfortably for a time before Leandra breaks the awkward silence. Right. So, Avon, you're in charge until I return. From where? Leandra mumbles an incantation, her eyes beginning to glow bright blued. Yes! All is seen clearly now! Footprints in the stone indeed! Follow me, underlings, as light reveals all, and the infinite cosmos whispers! I know here. Maybe you'd have to talk louder. Just follow her and don't let her dissect anything on the way. Okay. So I want to make sure that I can take the Forsaken Village right away because that's going to be a source of income. You enter the Temple of Ver, the god of sacrifice. It is barren as it should be, but mysteriously well maintained. A fountain of blood stands before you. Blood shall set thy wish free, a plaque exclaims. You may take a boon, but your heroes will suffer 3 damage at the start of every battle for 2 days. So this is one I would be tempted to actually get an investment. I think the magic would be good here. As I was saying a little bit before, when I'm given a strategic layer like this, I have a very strong tendency to like try and build up my base as much as possible, and it felt like in the last mission there was a benefit to getting it done really quickly. So again, I'd love to run around the broken wagons, the magic and whatnot, but in this case I'm going to make some investments in the city because I don't really know where I'm going, And what I'm going to actually, hang on, I should be able to calculate the number of steps. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, but the roads might make that difference. Okay, so this is going to cost me 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So do I get 16? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, looks like we have enough. You come across a broken wagon ransacked probably ages ago. Using your knowledge of hidden compartments and wagons, you find hidden treasure that the thieves missed. I forgot about that line. And we've got a wooden buckler. So I think that's going to... Wow, they take away all your items? Interesting. I wonder if I still have my abilities. Looks like I do. So, Old Wooden Buckler reduces the odds of being hit by 10. It's a tough call as to whether or not I want to give that to Solaris or Krita, because Krita tends to be sort of ahead of the... in sort of the front line ahead of everything, but anyways, Forsaken Village it is. Approach the village. This is a story mission. Your highest level heroes of each class are summoned to it, with preference to heroes in the interacting party. But yeah, one of the reasons... Oh, always look for smart ways to utilize the environment to your advantage. Definitely, that's like the tagline for this game. Because again, it's very fun as XCOM, fantasy XCOM, but the real magic happens in the environmental effects. But I was going to say something else. One of the reasons I'm going to spend more effort on building up my cities and whatnot is I don't know what the layout is like, and I don't know what's going to be happening in the upcoming adventures. And so with that level of uncertainty, I want to build enough infrastructure to be able to handle a negative event. And that's a little bit like any other... Otters Hold Hands. Is this a full release? Otters Hold Hands, this is currently in early access. It had a successful Kickstarter, and it's been in development for a while. I do believe the page says that they'll be raising the price on release, so I think the trade-off is if you buy early and you give them feedback, you get a discount, and then of course you're banking on them completing the game, although it's definitely pretty... admittedly, I've only played Act 1. I don't know if the story abruptly ends. But I definitely think this has got a level of polish that is above what you'd normally see in terms of that. But obviously, it's been a while since I put this in chat, so keep in mind the developer did give me a key for this for promotional purposes, so I'm enthusiastic about it because I really like the game, but do keep in mind that there are interests at play. They've given me a copy of a really cool game. But if you guys are interested... Obviously, if you're not into early access stuff, I recommend you wishlist it. There's a few reasons why wishlisting is good. The writing is very good. It's I said this when we streamed this on Friday. I really like the humor, and I actually really wish more games would have the courage to be funny. And it's actually one of the things that is big for me. There's permadeath in this game, and it replaces the characters. The writing in this is so good that I actually felt very jarring when these characters that I really liked and related to were like divorced. I felt sort of disembodied in the game because, like, if you play XCOM, like the Commander, Central, Dr. Valen, Chen, all of these people, they're never in danger. Like if one of these story characters dies on a mission, the mission is failed. So this is actually where the game is sometimes a victim of its own success, where once one of these heroes dies, like that's it, and you feel really like there's a part of you missing all of a sudden. So I've never played Fire Emblem. Anyways, guys, sorry, I wanted to put that link inside there. So I'm always fond of mentioning this for games. So obviously one of the best ways you can support a developer is to buy their games. Second best you can do is tell your friends about it and wishlist it. And there's a few reasons for that. Incidentally, this developer's on Twitter, so at Fort Triumph. There might be other links that they have. I know they mentioned a Discord, but I haven't actually found where the Discord is. Excellent, Otters Hold Hands. I'm going to get my spiel out of the way, though, too, just because I know I don't know. Nobody ever tells me, like, you have to sell this thing, but it's not bad letting people know the lay of the land, especially because one of the fun things about streaming has been to kind of get to know people behind games, and if I can share some of the things that come from the chats that I have with them, I feel that helps everyone. So, of course, first best is an exchange of money. Obviously, cool games don't get made if people don't pay for them. But there's a few things that can help. Obviously, there's going to be, especially for independent games, there's going to be more people who have not heard of a game. Even, like, think of the most famous indie for you, like the one that, like, everyone is playing. There are still more people who have not heard of that game than will ever play it. I would argue that's possibly true even for a game like Subnautica. I know for a fact that that's true about Sunless Sea. So, you know, there's really no bottom in terms of audience outreach. Even if you think everyone's heard of that thing, there's going to be people who haven't heard of it. The other thing that it does is, of course, wishlisting it. I mean, it's not uncommon for me to buy stuff when it's on people's wish lists. But more importantly, too, it also signals to other people what's going on. You having something on their wish list sort of indicates to them that, oh, this might be something I'm interested in too. And then finally, and this is a really big one, is that it costs money for developers to reach out to their potential audience, either through advertising or even just having a mailing list. Services like MailChimp tend to have a fee for sending out an email blast. And so, this game coming out of early access, an update coming for this game, maybe if there were DLC down the line, having a follow in a wish list means that Valve is covering the costs of that notification rather than the developer having to take resources out of the development of the game into contacting you. And so this is why things like Discord, why wish lists, all of these things tend to be very helpful. And while it seems like a really minor thing for you, it's actually one of these things that really does move the needle once people start collectively keeping aware of that. So, you shielded in the Rogue Tech Discord? Bless your heart, Otters Hold Hands. Thank you so much for that. So, anyways, and yes, I do know there's a Fort Triumph Discord. Unfortunately, I don't know the link for it, so I'm going to need to go on. Anyways, guys, I don't want to... I know I'm short on time. I'm not going to take that out of the gameplay. But I did want to take a second to really try and push this out for you. So... The party arrives at a rundown hamlet comprised of rickety shacks in a severe state of disrepair. What a dump this place turned out to be. Is this really where Garbarak's hiding? The state of this decrepit hamlet offends us. We will purify this hovel by flame until it is naught but ashes and dust. Leandra's hands begin to glow. Pin her down! Solaris and Yvonne pin Leandra to the ground just as a fireball escapes Leandra's fingers. You burned the damn house down, you loon! But village looked better. Very roomy, rustic and inviting. I give 2 stars now. That ain't the point! Avon pauses. Yeah, smell sure got better. Leandra's glowing blue eyes return to their usual color as she looks around and takes in the scene. Ah, good. There may have been goblins hiding in that dangerous house. Avon stares at the fire and adopts a sarcastic tone. You really think? Leandra retorts snappily and rolls her eyes. Look, I don't expect you to understand. You non-mages rarely bother thinking 6 steps ahead or taking in the necessary multitudes of possibilities. Let's just focus on finding the goblins. Oh, this is a neat one. Okay, so we need to find the goblins, but we actually need to find it on the tactical map as well. Cool. I'm going to use Avon as a scout because my Overwatch options aren't really that great. We'll start with this pillar and... Alright. Something not feel right. Goblins spring from hiding spots around the village. Get the humans! Goblins! Sound the alarm! A villager rings a gong made of crumbling old brass. Militiamen in torn rags emerge from a nearby hovel. The fire continues spreading to the rest of the house, the dry old wood igniting immediately. Oh, sweet unmerciful gods, fire too! The village is burning! My house! My only blanket! My rock! That's all I had! Why would anyone do this to us? Where is our lord?
See? Like I was telling you, we can't kill this human now. It will only ease his suffering. What was the Demon King? Wretched above all, think of this. But if we act in bad faith with the intent of cruelty, are we also responsible for any indirect kindness caused by our actions? One might argue that the consequences of our actions speak louder than our intentions.
So we've got a consequentialist and a deontologist in the middle of a raid. Solaris brightens at the sight of goblins. At last! Simple, familiar purpose. Turn back, heathenous fiends! You will not harm these innocent civilians! Or, sorry, citizens.
See how absurd it is? If he kills us before he ends the villager's suffering, did they cause evil?
Okay. So, Avon's... I think with the bomber, this is a problem. So I'm going to save Avon for the next turn. I'm also down on health because of the dark pact that I made. Oh, but Blink might give me some options here, so... Hell no, it won't. I'm really trying to find a way to get some crazy combos. Actually, this has some possibilities. So if I walk... Yeah, no, I gotta blink. It's not great, but it'll give me something. So, I've had better odds, but... Okay, Solaris and Krita are almost certainly not going to be... Oh, actually, hang on. I have got some... I got some fancy moves I can do. No, I don't. Okay, this is going to sting. I'm going to lock down the bomber, though. Or do I? No, I think I'm going to make life a little more difficult for the archers. There's been so many games that have tried this type of combat and failed. It's about time that someone got it right. I mean, it's a lot harder than it looks. I think one of the reasons for that is the... See, I should actually be able to move one of the... No, I can't move one of these units. I'm actually happy with where Avon is because we decided to go a little more aggressive. Oh, that's right, because if Krita gets damaged, then she's not able to get the attack of opportunity. I just screwed her. I mean, that whole mechanic exists so that I can't do that nonsense. Alright, that's fine. I kind of took leave of my senses there, but I'm going to be able to make this work. But yeah, it's like, the thing I mean, this is one of the reasons why I keep coming back to games like this, is that the mechanics seem so straightforward, you know, click the unit, move them. But the possibility space is enormous. And the fact that there's this environment, like this is the big feature that really kind of interests me so much about this game, is sorry, words fail me. It's the extra, like the manipulation of the environment. So we got 4 to 6. If I got 2 maximum damage, we'd be able to take this guy out, but I think that's pretty unlikely. So let's go for a second best. I'm going to knock him into the wall and stun him. While I'm at it, though, obviously wouldn't hurt to get a little chip damage in. Well, that's a good point, Otter's Hold Hands. I never really thought about that. Okay, so if I can, it'd be good to get some kills on the... It'd be good to get some kills on the goblin so I can get my health up. But again, first priority is trying to lock down enemies. Okay, I feel like healing... I'd like to do hammer strike... so nasty kick, hammer strike, healing aura. Let's do greater heal. Because I've been pretty good at not losing my heroes so far. So, I gotta think of a way that I can... Oh, now see. Krita's gotta come in and do the real damage. Again, unless I can find some really clever way to double up the movement. Let's do dash and slash. I believe I'll get 1 extra action point on this. Oh yeah, no, I think I've got an idea about how I'm gonna crap. Okay, well. Oh, damn it. 1, I assumed too much that I was going to take that thing out, and then number 2, now she's going to get a bunch of damage from all these other guys. This is precarious. Okay, let's get... So the good news is there's no real threat to me right now. The AI could be stupid and move this guy away, but it'll almost certainly try and kill the goblin. So I'm going to move my units up. Avon doesn't have a lot of good moves available to... I don't know, that'll work. It's also possibly, I'm dealing with the possibility that the bomber might try and go for a suicide run. Yeah, I definitely need to recover some health. I'm not quite sure how they gave that footman the slip, but what I think I want to do here is pull my team back, deal with the threats that we have in the immediate area, and we will meet them at the hot gates where their numbers count for nothing. I've never played Silent Storm, Otters Hold Hands. Is it something you'd recommend? Okay, so... it'd be nice if I could get people gathered around for a heal. No, I would have preferred to kill him, but again, I want to get whatever characters I can. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm still going to be able to take him out. Hopefully, at least. Ooh, that's not a really good chance. Well, let's give it a shot. Nice. So the aim here is just to deal as much damage as possible and get the healing in. Okay, Leandra, we can give her a reduction to her blink cooldown. Whirlwind cooldown is a big priority. Yeah. That's kind of one of my main environmental effects. Okay, I think I might want to throw an encouragement. Alright, so the archer's going to be able to throw something at us. I can neutralize this. Oh, it's risky, but... Nice. Okay, so he's killed this... she's killed this unit. This means that I can now do an encourage. So she's got 2 action points worth of movement, which means that I can now corner this guy. And that's now disabled the archer. Something tells me this mage is public enemy number 1. But I have a small advantage in the fact that they're all sort of stuck in this area. If I do decide to storm it, there's still enough stuff that I'll be able to knock over, which is good. Several peasants appear. Their faces a mix of patheticness and hope. My lord, what a marvelous display! You've come to us in our hour of need, like we knew you would. Please, I am no lord, merely a traveler, warrior, an occasional Solaris pauses on noticing the villager gawking at Avon. Leandra and Page Turner turns to Avon equivalently. Something to share with the rest of the group? Avon responds hotly. I ain't come back for you bunch of rubes. Stop waiting for it. You're better than this. The crowd sighs disappointedly, grumbles, and disperses. What is the meaning of this, Avon? Avon grumbles. I'll explain after we're out of here. I'm not sure. I think the armor might be something that the spellcaster put on these guys. It's inconvenient is what it is. Okay. Doesn't seem like there's that much that... Oh. God bless this game. Oh, it's only one. I was hopeful. All right. I can sort of see moving him up. I can also see him in an encouragement roll. Oh, that I used his full. Oh wait, but he still doesn't. He didn't have encouragement anyway, so that's fine. Leandra. I mean, I do have Blink if I want to get fancy. I'm not sure I really have anything that I want to get fancy with, though. So let's move up. I bet I'm going to be able to do something with knocking over this pillar. The question is, this guy's at half health, so is this really the strongest move that I can be doing right now? It's like, the challenge I'm facing with this one is am I running into the bad habit of saying, you know, this is something, we might need to do something, this is something, therefore we need to do this. Honestly, though, taking pieces off the board is never really a bad idea. Okay. Avon doesn't have much as far as special abilities are concerned right now. Looks like there's some Overwatch issues. So let's think about this from... So the way I'm going to think about this one is what are the immediate threats? So if I put him behind this pillar, he's definitely going to have a hard time with this goblin, and I'm absolutely not trusting the footman to protect me. So I think this is a kind of a lame move, but I'm just going to move him up in Overwatch. It'd be nice to do something else, but I can't really rely on our other possibilities. Similar story. I definitely want to get Krita close into the combat, but I know I'm not going to be able to make anything of it. So I'll put her behind the... this tree's a bit far away. No, actually, behind this altar should be enough. Again, I want to put her in a good position for next round. No, there's high cover and low cover. And I think all of the cover can be kicked and whatnot, but definitely having... It definitely looks like if you have like a tree or a pillar fall on you, that's a lot more devastating. Oh no! Don't lose the footman. These guys have been doing the Lord's work. I'm gonna feel bad if one of them sacrifices themselves for the greater good. I should just kick him into the fight. So this is actually a really tough one. I think I'm gonna keep Solaris in reserve because I feel like one good encourage will make all the difference with him. Oh, this is magic. But see, it's 3 to 4, so I'm not going to be able to take this guy out in the one round. I was going to like dash and slash it and call it a day. I can probably take this guy. No, he's got 9 health, so this is also a tough one. It's really interesting. For this one, I'm actually having a little difficulty deciding how I want to handle this. Just because I don't, I'm not quite sure how I want to initiate. Okay, so blinking, I can get the exact same move. All right, well, let's start. Well, I'll start with a walk. Now I'm gonna get. Okay, I don't have my whirlwind, so that's a bummer. I can move him exactly 1 space, so that's probably not going to be too exciting. And yeah, I don't really have any other options. I mean, no. I can't reach anything else either. I mean, this probably is just going to turn into an Overwatch standoff, if I'm completely honest. What I really need to be doing here is figuring out exactly what kind of damage these guys are going to be able to do to me. And public enemy number 1 is actually the Goblin. Okay, so Goblin Shaman I can figure out. So they've got Magic Arrow, Overwatch, Lift, Whirlwind. Okay, so they're basically like Leandra. Name. Damage 5 to 99. I really hope... I really hope these aren't real things. Okay. This is going to be some risky play. Oof. That wasn't worth it. I don't think I'm going to be able to do what I want. I'll try it though. Oh no, I don't have Whirlwind! What am I thinking? Okay. So Iron Floss has only got 2. Honestly, at this point, I think we just charge in with what we've got and hope for the best. I screwed this one up. So I'm going to penalize that guy for moving whenever they do. And get Avon in cover. So my hope is that I just don't lose a party member to a hail of arrows. Beautiful. Oof. Alright. That is not as bad as that could have been. So the nice thing here is we're going to be able to get my melee guys to charge in and neutralize the archers. But Leandra has a Whirlwind available, so she's... Oh, no, she's not going to get revenge first because I want Solaris to... Oh, really? Oh, no, this will still work. Sparta! Okay, so now we'll move Leandra to the cover. So I want to make sure that the shaman's not causing me trouble. Ooh. That's fine. I will conveniently position her. So again, I only get 1 attack of opportunity. I gotta be a little thoughtful about that, but... Actually, I'm slightly carried. No, I can't. It would be fun to like try and throw one of these guys close to Solaris, but that was a rather optimistic evaluation. But there might be hope. I feel like his movement is very slow. Okay, so can I knock... I can knock this back. Cool. Oh, but you know what? I'm going to hit my own guy. Maybe not. All right. Wonderful. Everything is exactly the way that it should be. Okay, I want Solaris to do this. Yeah. There's no advantage to doing this. I just think this is a fun way to finish the round. Healed. So you're a lord here. Avon sighs. Used to be. If you've been paying close attention, you might have noticed I don't like the nobility much. I've noticed some subtle cues. Always thought that way. When my pa died, I was thinking, no more of that. Let's get these villagers to think for themselves. Make their own choices. Seems reasonable. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And to my surprise, that didn't work for those damn peasants. How so? Nobles may be a bunch of lying bastards, but what you don't see is how the peasants want it that way. They all love all the little deceits and drama. It keeps their lives entertaining and gives them reason to complain. And they definitely want to be told what to do, because if things go south, they don't have to take responsibility for it. Sounds like they're weak. You can use for advantage. Whole system's corrupt, from top to bottom, noble to peasant. They all deserve whatever's coming for them. I ain't playing that dumb game no more. Tried, and it went badly. So I abdicated and went to the surface to live my own life. Smartest choice I ever made. But surely you cannot forsake your duties to your people. 'Tis wrong. Yeah? Watch me. See? During combat, hold right mouse button on enemy cards to see their stats. We use that. Okay. I'd love to do some more of this. This is a really fun game, but... Oh, I'll do more story. But I am definitely feeling that I haven't had dinner yet, and I actually am not 100% sure how I'm going to sort that out. I'm sure I'll find something in the kitchen I can put together, but... I need to get myself sorted out. I also need to get to bed a bit earlier because I have an early morning tomorrow, but Garbrak not here at all. Must have passed through and the spell picked up on it. So we'll just channel a bit more and no more channeling. You, local peasant, have you seen a gaggle of goblins passing by? Oh god, I'd love some tuna right now. Name's Tom, Mayor Tom. Didn't you just kill a gaggle of goblins? I would say it was more of a covey. A gaggle is somewhat larger, yet less than a bevy. Ain't you the one who started the fire that burnt my house down? I ain't telling you a damn thing. Solaris glares pointedly at Leandra. In order to save you from the bloodthirsty goblins, you ingrate. Suppose freezing to death is marginally better than being gutted like a fish, but I still ain't telling you squat. You burned my damn house down! And we are most apologetic for that. Right, Leandra? Leandra shakes her head. But you must grant us that the village was in quite the disarray before our arrival. Aye, times have been tough. We lived under constant goblins and unliving raids for months now. The undead have accosted these lands as well? The same has been occurring on the surface. Aye, they've been spilling from that cemetery down the road without end. And our nobles, Aurelina Ravithis, or even Avon, haven't been any help. Unless... Avon shakes his head. That's a shame. Tell you what, if you help us clear the cemetery, I'll point you to Garbrat's direction. A fine idea, sir. Consider your troubles as good as ended. Alright. I will save the... I'm pretty sure the game auto-saves, at least at major points like this, but I'm glad that I got to do... I mean, admittedly, it was one battle more than we did last time, but this was a lot of fun. So again, just a reminder, guys, I'll let the credits roll. I probably won't be able to do all the Kickstarter backers on this one, but Cookie Bite did reach out to me. I believe it was Tom is the name. So thank you very much for the key, guys. This is a really fun game, and I hope it's working out for you. These are the names of the people who've been making the game. If you guys want to wishlist this or pick it up, there is the Steam link in there, store.steampowered.com/app/612570/Fort Triumph. I will include that in the description for the video if you've been watching on YouTube. This is actually done rather well on YouTube, so if you want to see more of this stuff, please let me know. These are the backers here. I definitely want to do some more of this game. I will give you a quick rundown of the plans for the next week or so. So I really want to do some more Six Ages, and I am seriously thinking of doing that on this Friday. Again, kind of depends what I'm feeling on the day, but I feel it's been long enough since we did Six Ages that I really should get some more progress inside of that one. Surely we cannot have like a 4th or 5th stream with that much bad luck in a row. Monday's always dedicated to Paradox strategy. In this case, it's kind of been expanded to publishing as well, so we've been making some pretty decent progress in terms of Planetfall now, so we're on to the Devar. And then sort of Wednesdays and Fridays are more open games. So there is another key for a game that so this is a shameful one. I actually sometimes really try and buy the game in this case, but as it happens, I've actually been trying to set aside a bit of money, so this came at just the right time. There was a key offer that I got in the mail today for something that I'd actually watched about 4 or 5 friends play, and I was like, I think this is something that you guys will like. So that's going to be another one on my Wednesdays and Fridays. Another thing that's happening is you've noticed with BattleTech and Hellblade, I've actually been trying to push a little bit more into like knocking down some titles that I've either had on the shelf or I've been meaning to get through. So I do have another big sort of stream planned. But the thing is, of course, with all of these little extra games that have been coming up, I've been setting it off for a while. So generally, here's going to be the next couple of weeks. Most likely Six Ages on Friday. I'll try and get some more Fort Triumph in the next couple of weeks. There is, of course, that other game which I haven't mentioned yet, which I'll be sorting out. Planetfall is pretty much a constant on Mondays until further notice, and then within the next couple of weeks or so, there'll be a big game. It'll be a popular game, I think, and we'll go with that for a little while. Ideally to finish, but again, I'm not married to doing it like every day. One last thing. Unfortunately, this month, I think, is the first time in a while that the follower count has just dipped down. It's only by like 1 or 2. But a quick personal note, if you guys are... So one, if you're not following, I'd love it if you would consider following if you enjoyed this stuff. But also, if you happen to like my stuff, and you can retweet it, you can let people know. The numbers aren't a huge thing, but it's actually it's the first time in a while that it has not actually been a small upward tick. I'm kind of used to small growth. It was actually the first time that there's been a dip down at the end of the month. So I don't see that as a step forward. It's always kind of been marginal in terms of the kind of the end of winter. I think it's honestly just like stuff like New Year's resolutions. And then of course there's bots that come and go and whatnot. But I would like to try, at least where I can, grow where I can. And if there's something that keeps you from recommending the channel or something that would keep you coming back or participating in chat, I try to take feedback as well as I can. But obviously, if it's dumb stuff like stop talking over Hellblade or, stream 24 hours every day, those will be met with the appropriately harsh response. Anyways, as always, I appreciate you guys hanging out, and I did just want to add in that I am trying to reach out where I can. So on that note, let's try and find somebody to host. I'll take a quick look and see whether or not... so I did get through the whole credits. Let's see if we can find somebody on Twitch who's playing Fort Triumph. I am alone. All right. Who else do we have here? Okay, I don't host them as often as I used to, but we've got Elegy, who's currently playing Infamous 2. So I'll admit, I actually don't watch Elegy that much, but it's fun to, one, it's fun to see new things. The other thing, too, is they are a bit of a bigger streamer, so you don't necessarily need to do the System Chalk raid thing, but if there is a chance to mention Fort Triumph, that would be lovely, because obviously getting the word out about this game would be great. So again, don't be annoying about it, but if there's a chance, talking about, I saw this really interesting thing, if it naturally comes up in the conversation, I would love it if you guys got a chance to talk about this game. As for me, I will be back on Friday, again, likely 6 Ages. I'll try and record some Morrowind on the weekend, Planetfall on Monday, and after that, check out Twitter. See you next time.